wait.
Oh.
It should be working. Okay.
Okay, welcome. I hope everybody had a good week.
What?
Hi.
Oh, Azel.
Yep, he did exactly. Yeah, nice.
By the way,
Good
there's now
stuff.
closed captionings.
Is there?
Oh, nice.
Just for me or for everybody?
On the stream.
Yeah, I know, but is it just my voice or is it everybody?
So
getting
when
captioned?
I say
kind
chicken, beef,
Kind of random, so I
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was trying to be
Chicken
funny.
beef?
Okay. I don't know.
What?
All right.
Alec, how are we doing? Hold on, guys. Now
Yeah,
check.
sure. Let me know when you're all ready, and I'll do the.
Are a bad idea. They are
I'll do
having
the,
a conniption fit.
So Fries, speak.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Loki, speak.
I'm green.
You are not green. Speak a little more,
I currently
Loki.
have Loki at 2,000%.
It's unfair that I cannot be green.
You could be a different shade of green than mine. Jamie, can you
Nope.
speak?
Alligator Loki.
Speak normally.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, Reeds.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Okay. Statos.
Loki is green.
Thank you.
No, he's not.
Dabba-dee-dabba-da.
Tricks.
Test.
Da-dee-da-ba-da.
Test 592.
Okay.
592.
Random
Test.
numbers are more fun.
Test one day.
Test 1, 2, 3. Anything but that.
That's why.
This is weird.
All right, are we good?
Very weird.
I would turn off the closed captioning because they have no idea what the hell we're saying.
As long as I understand I'm
Let
green.
me.
Green, I'm a
Stato, can you
guy.
talk again, please?
Test. Test 1, 2. Testicle.
Okay. Hold on. I just tried to turn off the captions and I
Zero
froze the
testicles.
recording. Did you just crash by OBS?
I didn't do it.
It's probably you.
Is it the closed captioning?
Yeah, you guys let
tried
me
to-
know when you're ready.
I tried to turn it off and OBS is frozen.
Oh no.
Okay, hang on. Crap.
There.
Oh, I wonder why that is. Okay,
Cheated.
we should be back. Alec, am I back? Honk, am I back? Are you looking? Am I back?
What?
Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave you a thumbs up twice.
Well, I wasn't looking at your stream. I was looking at my thing.
Yeah.
Remaining silent on purpose.
All of you, meh.
All right, are we?
Yeah.
Just a reminder to the DM. I think
Yeah.
me, our talk, and then need our token swapped out, and then
Oh, okay.
I
Mine's the
think
same as last
whatever with Azul's. Yeah.
I should be
Hold
already
on,
up
one.
I think
One
did we
sec.
already change out for my drow token?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
okay,
had
okay.
the
Oh.
one with the black skin
Okay,
and the
so
white hair.
Seda.
Get together with Satyr and get him to make me a green token for my Satyr.
There you go.
Okay,
Well,
I
I
am
had
speaking.
I
Is
had
my
the
volume
purple,
okay?
but I'm fearing for my life, so I figured I'd change it.
That sounds good. Sounds real good.
Well, I'm
Um,
making sure on Twitch it sounds good. Remember.
tricks.
Okay.
Oh,
Can
sorry,
everybody
sorry.
shush for 1 second so that Alec can hear me talking, and I'm just gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna go la la la, and hopefully that's enough.
La la la. For all the Seinfeld
What does that
fans.
mean? Why
What
am
is
I
la la
weird?
la? It's a Seinfeld episode.
Okay, turn it up slightly. Okay. How's that? Do 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 do. Describe it to me. Oh my gosh, this is way more complicated than I wanted it to be. I'm very what? Oh, you're gonna make me listen to myself? Okay. Do 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 do. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you're hearing, but I'm fine. Okay, guys.
Hey,
Do your weird ears here.
Yeah, he's heard some weird
who
things
are you
before.
texting?
Oh.
You
Oh,
spelled
that's right.
cute
She has a phone.
Are we all?
Who are you
Yeah.
texting at 10 o'clock at night?
So I'm gonna switch from our opening screen
No,
to
we're
our
not
actual
texting
streaming screen. Hello.
She texted you at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not
All right.
texting anymore.
Let me
Hold-
know when
hold
we're
on.
good,
I
and I'll do the intro.
We're all good.
You're covering up the pretty writing, Bree. You should move the map.
It's time to put Winnie the Pooh on. Okay. I'm back. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Are you good? Do you need a sec?
No.
Okay.
I'll be
All right,
down
guys.
here
I'm gonna
then.
go ahead and do the intro here if we're all good.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. During a trek to free their friend Talia, our group was betrayed by a male, put into cells, and magically rendered unconscious. When they awoke, they mysteriously found themselves back at the inn in Phandelver. Each of them bearing unique injuries, they struggled to remember what happened during the days missing from their memory. Gathering some information from Zasira, an ex-member of their captives organization, one by one, they each began having horrific visions of the days that were lost. As a storm begins to roll in, our adventurers find themselves looking forward to some much-needed rest. Our party wraps up their nightly tasks. Lyric. You are at the bar, having your fill this evening. Toblin seemed to walk by and get a glimpse of you, kind of dazing, half in, half out. You seem to be staring and kind of gazing at the wall in the corner of the room. As Toblin walks by you, he kind of gives you a nice stare and continues walking. Talia,
Yes.
you seem to be also in a daze, staring off into the distant corner of the room. The same with Trix. You seem to be also in a gaze. Loki notices, and so does Artok, as they exchange words with one another as you kind of are in your own little spot. I'd like to hand the floor over to Artok.
Sorry, pulling up my notes here. So
You
we-
have
Surprise.
your identified scroll that you
Yep.
found was remove curse,
Yep.
which is huge, right?
Yep.
You found the ember from a seemingly unknown plane, or rather unaccessed anymore.
Right. And we were discussing how it could potentially have ended up on Trix's foot. Correct.
Everybody in this house. I'm sorry. Chris's nurse bag tries. It's tried to kill at least every person in this house at least once. I swear it's a mimic.
Would not
Sorry.
surprise me if you have a mimic in your house, honestly.
Right.
Sorry, Artok. Okay. You need the materials, right? For the scroll, if I remember correctly.
To do this, I don't think we were doing the scroll yet.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off on that for a while.
Okay.
So I had come back and told, if I remember correctly, I didn't get to watch the playback this week.
No, it's good.
I had come back and told Loki, kind of Trix overheard, but I was explaining like where it came from and asked him where he got it, because pretty much all I know is he just threw it he kicked my door
Yeah.
in and threw it at me.
He did.
With his little goat hooves. Explained what it was, and Trix was like, "How did that get there?" And we're just like, "Yeah, you tell us." So I think that's kind of where we ended, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Then Riggs
Like
hijacked
cliffhanger.
me.
Like the cliffhanger, because right as that happened, she got kidnapped by Reeks.
I
Mentally.
did. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I have kicked in the door. Trix, where did you get this? Yeah, you're right. So I hijacked Trix right after that.
Which was so cruel of you, but I enjoyed every minute
I'm
of it.
sorry.
I would
She's
really
still
like
in
to
a
resolve
game.
that cliffhanger, please.
Oh, I know you would. I know. I'm letting you sit on it for a second. Isn't
You're
it
mean.
cool?
I've been sitting on it for a week.
Delicious.
Sato.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you, Trix. Don't worry.
Oh, yes.
Sato.
Yes.
You are in your room here. After having a very, very nice interaction with your new friend, Spider Bach.
Yes, Bach the spider.
And after having obtained a certain level of blue-colored, I believe, venom, very thick venom, you find yourself feeling a little bit more comfortable, considering the situation of not knowing exactly what's happened with you. You look down at your legs and you see all the marks and scratches and bite marks. You have an idea of what has happened here, but you're still unable to answer the questions in your mind as to why there are memories missing from you. One memory in particular of coming down the mountain and losing your footing and almost falling. You just can't remember. You can't remember the details. You remember the moment, but you can't remember the details that you once could.
Okay. Well, we haven't had our long rest yet, so
That's
for
true.
the moment, my main concern is probably just like laying down and trying to sleep off some of these scratches and
I love it.
injuries that I have. Yeah.
And you can actually, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and lay down and start your rest.
Yeah, that's probably what I do. I'm feeling a little fucking beat up, so give the body a chance to heal.
Sure.
Get a nice rest in.
All right. So we'll go ahead and say that you are settling in for your long rest.
Yeah.
We'll go around the table here in a second.
Oops.
All right.
I just drawing more black marks.
Nah. Would you do it on?
Right on top of my token.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry, one sec. All right.
Past.
Trix,
Yes.
Just letting you settle in here for a second. Is that music loud? It's probably pretty loud.
No, it's good.
Okay. All right, Trix. I'm so glad I took good notes.
I remember exactly where you left me.
Yeah, I do too. So, with child in arms, with your cloak wrapped around her, she kind of has like some kind of a stuffed animal in one arm, and she's holding onto your shoulders with the other. You can feel the smoke in your lungs start to build, and it's an unnatural kind of different kind of smelling smoke than what you're used to. It's very harsh considering it's smoke, but and as you reach down towards the door itself, you feel the heat. Would you like to push the door open?
Actually, first, and I've thought about this a lot. Do I have any water of any kind anywhere in the room that I'm in or on my person?
Water? Make a perception check.
Natural one. Natural one.
Shut up! Shut up!
Ah,
Damn.
18. I'll say for the sake of it, I know what you're trying to do here. We'll run with it a little. You have a little skin of water that you keep on your belt. That's on you. It's
Okay.
about half full.
Okay. Then I'm going to shift the kid so she's piggyback on my back with the
Okay.
jacket over her. And before I put the jacket on her, I'm going to do my level best to soak the damn thing.
Okay. I love it. This is an actual scientific thing, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watch movies.
Yeah, that's smart. All right. You gonna cover her face with it? Her head with it?
Her face should already be covered with the sash from around my belt.
Yep.
But I am going to pull it up over her head and kind of let the jacket drape over her to cover her fully, and then
Sure.
drape onto my back a little bit.
I love it. It's very good.
And if necessary, I'll like loosely tie the arms around my neck as kind of like a weird cloak.
Yes.
Not tight, just a loose one to try to help it stay in place.
Sure. I love it. The fire is continuing to grow hotter. Since you just heard the voice about turning up the heat. Very sinister sounding, almost like it was an enjoying thing.
Do I have any of anything long I could use to prop open the door so I don't have to be there when I open it?
You do not on in your hands or anywhere kind of like you didn't come in here with anything.
Is there any like chair I could quickly break a leg off of?
Make a perception check and let's see. Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights, is it, guys?
Apparently. Jeez.
Yeah, there is a chair kind of in the corner, Trix. It's probably big enough to kind of safely.
Then
Yeah.
I'll just use the chair as is and kind of, because I know I didn't shut that door all the way because I didn't want to have to fight with getting it open.
Right.
Kind of use it as a lever against the door jam a little bit.
Sure.
To just kind of push the door open so I don't have to be in the line of fire, literally, when I open it.
Of course. So is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
All right. Let me.
Oh no.
Oh, you're lucky. So a flash of fire kind of, as soon as the door kind of opens, some of the oxygen kind of lets out, and a flash of fire kind of flashes into the door jamb, just barely missing you and the child because of you backing up, and then flashes back out.
That's
It
why I
seems
didn't
like
want to be in front of the door.
yeah, smart. It seems like you can open that door just enough now where you can kind of get a good look outside, if you'd like.
I'm going to glance long enough to figure out what's probably the best path to take to get out of here, and then I'm going.
Okay,
Because
so
I know time is also a factor.
So, looking out, the direction that you came was to the left, and to the right, you can see that the flames have really started to build up the walls, and they're starting to really lay on the floor here. But it's the only direction that you can go in. There's a kind of a 90-degree hallway coming up that bends to the right.
So I went left?
Or, yeah.
Okay. Is the child conscious at all?
The child is conscious.
Do you know how to get out of here?
She kind of looks in both directions and points down the hall where the bend is.
Then that's the way I go.
She kind of points. She shakes her head yes, like very scared. She continues to, or the fire continues to roar around you. The flames, getting a good look, Trix, you can see the flames themselves, like the core of the flame where it's usually like a white, is green.
Yeah, it's something you mentioned last week.
Yeah. Okay, what would you like to do? Continue?
Continue, and wherever there's a junction, ask the kid if she's conscious which direction to go.
All right. I'd like you to please roll a Constitution saving throw for me. A 9.
Ooh.
Roll
Ooh.
a roll a 1d8 for me.
Oh.
Before I do, if this is for damage, you have to let me know what my health is at right now, because I don't know. Oh,
8.
God
Ouch.
That is fantastic. Trix,
damn
you
it. For you or for
take
me?
you take 4 hit points worth of damage. You were at full, by the way.
So that puts me at 32?
On my record, yeah, 32. Let me write that down so that I have it here. Nice. All right. As some of the flames kind of come up and lick the back of where your hoof kind of meets the tender skin, and even though you're resistant to fire, it's so hot in that instant that you feel the pain and that your skin starts to blister back there. And it's not a relieving kind of feeling where you kind of take the pain and then it kind of slowly fizzles away. The pain kind of lingers.
Retro.
Yeah.
Grit my teeth and keep going.
All right. Let me. All right. So you're coming up on a bend, Trix, and you can tell the flames around the corner here because it's really hot in this area. The flames are really starting to come up the sides of your legs here. You can continue. Obviously, you really don't have much of a choice. There's a door to your right, and there's a door all the way in front of you down a long, straight hall.
The kid's still conscious?
She is drifting in and out. You know what? Hold on.
Huh?
Disadvantage because of your cloth. She is still conscious.
Yay!
Yeah, it's only fair. That's pretty clever.
I ask her, do I take this door or keep going?
She kind of points at the door next to you and says, "Brother."
Shit.
Oh no. It just got more complicated.
Oh no.
Well, I donkey kick the door again.
All right, roll a
Kick the door.
strength check.
That's clicking on the title, right?
Oh God, beat a 3.
Oh dear!
A 5.
Well, she beat it.
She did technically. Yeah, you beat me, so that's good enough. That's hilarious. All right, because I didn't initially have a strength for the door or anything like a AC or resistance or anything, so we just did it like that. Okay, so you kick the door open, Trix, and on the bed is a little boy that is curled up in the corner and with flames all over around the room. The smoke is really starting to kind of billow around the upper layers of the room, leaving not much left for fresh, breathable air.
Can I see if the kid is alive?
He seems to be kind of in a gaze.
I call out to him to see if he responds.
What do you say?
Yeah, call out.
Are you okay? Hello?
There is no response.
I asked the girl, what's his name? You should have known this part was coming.
Peter?
A clear sign he did not have a name written down.
I did not.
You
Seriously,
should have
Peter?
known this was coming.
I'm
Really.
sorry. I know. I should have.
Are there any pumpkins in the room?
God.
Oh God! Don't start with that. Don't even.
I
Well, I
call
don't
out his
ask.
name. Peter, are you there? Okay, are you alive?
So he looks right over at you as soon as you say his name, and his eyes get big, and he sees you holding the girl, whose name is Anne.
Anne?
Anne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a clear place nearby where I could set down the girl? Or no?
Probably on the bed, but the fire seems to be raging on the left side of the room to the
Like,
point
right where I'm standing, is there fire where I'm standing?
not at the moment.
Okay. I would like to set the girl down and then
Mhm.
check on the status of my cloak. Is it
Okay.
still wet? Is it in good condition?
It's pretty hot, but it's pretty damp.
Okay, then I'm going to use it to smack the ground between me and the kid, the little boy, to clear a path. And I slap it down and stomp on it to try to put up flames.
Oh God.
So you try and stamp it out with the wet, damp cloth, and it doesn't really do anything.
No.
It doesn't help, and it doesn't hurt.
Magical fire there, dear.
And as we do this, we're gonna cut scenes.
No! You're torturing Jamie!
I'm sorry.
No! I fell asleep for this part last week. I didn't remember there was children. I've been triggered.
There were babies!
Babies.
All right. I love this.
I just watched Jamie's face on the camera, just slowly freaking out of
All right. So Trix, I'm sorry. Got all my notes. Chris, do you see this? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm juggling all these papers. What am I doing? Okay.
You could be doing this digitally, you know.
I know. I'm old school, dude. I have my whiteboard
he's a pen
here.
and
You guys
paper
will laugh
gamer.
at me. I am. I really am. Okay. So, before we cut back to Talia and Lyric, because I know that you guys are really interested in what's going on in your sides of the story. Before we do that, and before we even go back to Trix, Sato, you've decided that you're kind of in the middle of your we're going to go to Artak and Loki quick, and we're going to give you the floor for just a minute here. If there's anything that you'd like to cover before I go into the next part.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
While we're doing our thing, is Trix just in a daze?
Yes, she is staring off into nowhere right now.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of know like what she was doing while we were acting.
Yeah. And
Maybe
then this
kind
whole
of
time has been, it hasn't, like, not a lot of time has passed, kind of. We're just kind of doing it. We're going around the table, but in reality, you know, you've just had your exchange, and you just notice that she's kind of daydreaming, if you will.
Yeah.
So I had shown Loki the ember and just asking incessant questions, seeing if he knew anything about it. Just kind of almost like two researchers just trying to figure out a puzzle, essentially. That's how I saw it.
I think I commented I found it between Trix hoof.
Oh, that's right.
I lifted a foot and pointed.
And then somewhere during that conversation is where she just got birded away.
Also, you little goat man, stop kicking in my door.
What's that in character?
I don't know what crawled up your ass, but there's some nice hay in it for you if you quit it.
Was that in character?
Let's go with in character.
we know how to bribe Loki now.
Was the laughing character?
No, I feel like it would piss Loki off, but
In character, I'm gonna completely ignore that statement. I'm just gonna notice that Trix just drifted off.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, you there? Hey, just gotta kind of lightly shake her. Hey,
Yeah,
Trix,
you can.
Trix, hey,
Yep.
hey.
So
also
Trix,
turning my attention to her as well.
yeah, do you want to shake her as well?
Yeah, because I'm really concerned
No,
now.
I'm just gonna
spacing
let
out,
Loki
and
do
people
it.
start going away. Like, this is not
Cross
good.
my arm and what?
Loki starts to shake her, and she's just like flopping around her head, and then Trix, you finally snap to. And you see Loki in front of you. Oh God. You see, Sato. You see in front of you, Loki, with his arms kind of on your shoulders, and you do come to.
She's going to be very wide-eyed, a little panicky. Where are the kids? Where are the kids? What fire? What? Huh?
I'm just gonna gently check her. Hey, you're okay? You're okay? There are no kids. I'm just gonna hand her the rest of the bottle of wine I had. Like, here, just take a couple sips.
Trix doesn't really drink.
Bartok takes out of her hands and is like, well, then I will. Long swing.
Nice. Great. All right.
Like, hey, what happened? You just kind of drifted out there. You okay?
Just kind of breathe for a second or two. I think I was remembering there's the building and the fire, but the fire was green and there were kids. I was trying to help the kids.
Green fire, you say? I'm just gonna kind of look at Artok, and then look at the green ember in the bottle, and
just shake my head.
Just emphasize green fire. And then go back to Trix.
I look at him and I'm like, do you think I'm stupid? Like,
I even tried to use my jacket when it was wet to try to stop it out, and it wouldn't go out. It just pretended like it acted like the jacket wasn't there.
The green fire didn't act like regular fire. Shocker.
No. Thank you, Artok, for your valuable input.
Sarcastic
Trix,
ass.
you can see some of your cloak has holes in it now that you notice. Like little burn marks in it.
I'm gonna have to get this thing fixed, I think.
Your memory is starting to make a little bit more sense now as far as where you got your burns and why your cloak is damaged.
What kids were you talking about? The only kid here is you.
I'm just gonna glare at him.
Well, isn't she young?
19.
You're only
Yep.
19.
Okay, that's
Actually, you don't know
pretty
that
close.
yet.
Yeah, but I mean, you can kind of.
She's pretty young.
She's pretty young.
And in fact, I'm going to have you know I'm 19. Fuck you. I'm talking about little kids. A little girl and her brother, a little boy. I think their names were Anna and Peter?
That's right.
Long live Peter.
Peter.
I just look at Loki, just trying to gauge his reaction to that information.
Hold on, Riggs, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
The voice that was talking to me while I was in the fire, is it at all similar to the voice from The Ring?
Possibly.
How similar? Like, could I tell if it's the same voice, or does it just come across the same way, or...
Roll a wisdom check.
Oh, fuck.
I knew it.
Ah.
Hey!
It's really hard to know because in your mind, when you're hearing a voice, you're hearing more dialogue than what's the word I'm looking for here? Help me out.
Tone and voice.
Well,
you're hearing the
like
meaning.
you hear the words, but without tone of voice. So like
Yes.
it's just almost like the words, just almost in your own voice, you would hear the words, right? Like,
Yep, there you go.
mhm.
Yep, that's right.
Flat,
Thank you.
I guess. Flat words.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good example. Alex says, like you're reading a book. So like when you're reading a book and you hear the voice in your head, that's how you would hear the words.
But what if you can't read?
Missing the point, dude. Missing
No,
the point.
I'm sorry. Anyway, to try.
Boo, bad.
But,
Boo.
I'll look at it and say, I
Important. What if your
remember
intelligence
that
is
while I
under 5?
was there was a voice in my head. It was kind of like the voice from my ring, but I'm not sure if they were the same or not. Which I will remind Artok, he was not there for the discussion.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up.
ring.
Like my ears are gonna prick up about a talking ring. What ring? I'm directly asking you what ring.
I'm gonna kind of look at Loki like with this expression of like, how much should I tell him? Because I don't trust Artok quite as much as I trust Loki.
I'm just gonna nod and be like, "Go ahead, tell him."
I'm going to fish the ring back out and hold it up and say, this ring.
I'm going to take like the edge of my cloak and kind of wrap it over my hand so I don't touch the ring directly, and then pick it up and examine it a little bit closer.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm holding on to the chain it's on. You're allowed to take it, but I'm not letting go of the chain.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm just like kind of putting it between my middle finger and thumb, just kind of like
Sure.
twisting and looking at it
Roll a perception check for me, Artok, with advantage.
with advantage.
Yep.
Perception. There it is. I can never find perception.
18. Nice, man. So, you notice right away, as soon as you start to gaze at this thing, there are dancing lights deep inside this rock. It has very distinct cuts in it. Unlike any kind of gem or precious stone that you've seen that had been cut in some kind of a way to fit into like a jewel casing or something, this is cut in very odd angles and ways. And
Quite
deep
fit the
inside.
setting.
Sorry?
I said it doesn't quite fit the setting in some places.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks like it was made to fit in something that wasn't a ring, right? It's very odd, and inside of it, Artok, you can see there are many, many, many different colored lights that are kind of dancing around, and every once in a while you kind of get a very bright flash of purple and a very bright flash of green that seem to kind of happen in a non-pattern kind of way. And they're kind of bedazzling in a way. They kind of charm you almost, kind of like watching a waterfall, or what's another good example?
Aurora Borealis?
Something, yeah. I mean, you just can't. It's like watching a campfire. You know, you're just kind of enthralled by it. And the more that you gaze at it, the more you start to see shapes and colors and things that your mind starts to put together as things you might have remembered from your past, or things that may be monsters that might be attacking people and things. It's very odd to you, the visions that you're getting just by looking at this stone.
I'm not making like measures not to touch it at all with like my bare skin. I'm gonna kind of give it back to her and ask where she got it.
I'll tell the same thing that I told Loki. It's when I used to make my sleep powder. A couple years, or about a year after I left home, I found a guy in the forest and he was hurt, and he was hurt real bad. He didn't make it, and he asked me to keep it safe for him.
Okay. Just.
He said some
Kinda
bad
like-
people wanted it. And
Just
asked
kinda-
me to keep it safe.
Nodding my head, just quiet, just kind of contemplating what the implications of that is.
Loki touched it and saw something, but I wasn't there for that.
When doesn't this guy touch something and see something else?
Yeah, it wasn't my intention. I just kind of happened, but
Yeah, I remember our little adventure in the portal. Don't worry.
yeah. This is.
Maybe you should stop touching things.
She asked me to, and I did tell her that wasn't a great idea, but
I'm gonna stop myself from saying something
But
Seda would say.
I did glean some information from that you may find interesting.
Oh?
If it's alright for me to share, Trix,
I nod.
what I
You
saw.
trust him, I trust him.
Right. So that was very ominous.
A little bit, yeah.
Riggs, that was me.
Sorry.
So
As a bronze dragonborn, it didn't even faze me.
so after coming into contact with the stone, I saw a vision of a tower, a magic tower of some kind, where several creatures, held against their will, had something being drained out of them
Oh, that's right.
by that stone and collected. I don't know for what purpose or what it was draining, but I know for a fact that the creatures weren't there willingly. And all of a sudden there was some people trying to break into the tower and attack the person who was conducting some sort of experiments. That's all I got.
Same person I found in the forest. I do know he called it an alchemist stone, but it's also been talking at me, which it hasn't done before, and it's really weird and really scary. It happened first in the dungeon before we got caught. It said 4 days and laughed it really, really evil. And then when I woke up here, it said 1 more day and also laughed kind of evil.
It laughed in evil. Is evil a language now?
I said really evil.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said in evil as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of languages. I don't know that language.
There's
Like a
I don't think evil is a
translation.
language.
Like subtitles were like laughing. It says subtitles in evil.
Right?
Fuck you.
That's how I saw it.
And then I just get like kind of down to Trix's level. Is like, did you respond to the person who?
Not that I remember, except to try and stay away. It was also glowing and rattling and doing weird things.
I just get like probably like a little bit too close to Trix's face for her to be comfortable, and I just like very clearly say like, whatever you do, don't answer it.
I wasn't planning to.
Good.
I was gonna raise my eyebrow like, huh? Wouldn't the first thing you want to do is ask? Who would it?
No, not when they laugh evil.
I just turn to Loki and I say, in my experience, when there's disembodied voices from a clearly ominous and evil stone talking to you, it's probably not a good idea to answer them.
Fair enough.
Just makes you a target.
I am a little nervous about what it means by about 1 more day, because that would make it tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So we've been out, essentially, doing who knows what for 3 days.
That's what I gleaned from.
That was also what I gathered.
Don't chew on my chair.
Assuming this is real.
I mean,
I just take my nail and I just like poke Trix with it, like just probably too hard. Like did that feel real? I think where we're at is real.
Hope so. Not helping, Riggs.
He's having too much fun.
I am.
You're too good at that evil thing.
Thank you. I like it. It's fun.
Are you gonna take out my hair tie? You are. You're trying to take out my hair tie.
Did you hear him with this ominous, evil chuckle rumble?
Yeah.
So,
Loki was saying we should probably let the others
matrix.
know about the days thing from the ring. But I know we do need to get real rest soon. Loki,
yeah.
would you mind if we both left our doors open? Because I'm a little nervous.
Don't worry about it. As she says that, I'm going to hit her up with message
oh, nice.
and just tell her that if you need anything, just whisper me back.
Flash W. No.
I love that. Yeah, you can respond to this message.
Well,
No,
seeing as
it's-
how Loki has to say something and make the right movements, I'm pretty sure I know what he did. But I'm just not gonna acknowledge
Yeah,
it.
you have to make a sound, Loki. You can't just cast spells with verbal components without saying something. That is
Well, I
a rule.
believe
All of my
I-
verbal spells have verbal components.
Alright then, I tooted in my flute, and that was
That's
my
fine.
verbal component. So toot!
I love it. I love it.
I'm just saying, it's not fair that I came up with all these cool names for my verbal components and
No,
nobody else
no,
says so.
no. Let's not go that far. The Miss makes up fake spells in Draconic
Illuminate.
just to piss me off.
De-illuminate. But it was a reference, Fries.
I get
guess-
it.
I guess
get
it-
it.
It's visual,
My
and
immersion.
so I guess I will do hand mannerisms that
Okay.
coincide with message, and Artok
Point
would
and
recognize
whisper.
that as I tooted on the flute. Toot. And then in the message, in my message that I casted, I told her, call me anytime if you need anything.
I'm just gonna look at Loki and say, it's super rude to talk with message in front of somebody without including that. And I'm just gonna turn on my heel and walk out the door.
Just gotta shrug. Like, whatever.
It's great. Artok, as you pass by Zasira, you see that she is out. Looks like she's exhausted. She just finally just passed out. She's on the chair. Her head is back, kind of mouth is open. She's out. She's in La La Land.
Sleep in my bed.
Lyric's not using it.
Lyric, you are sitting there, and Toblin seems to just be kind of cleaning up, wiping down the bar here. And every once in a while, he'll see you kind of slump over to the right a little, and he'll kind of nestle you back upright a little so you don't fall. And then he you can see he's kind of stacked up beside you. There's a barrel, and he's stacked up kind of a bunch of like dry kind of linens kind of up beside you to kind of make a like a safety net just in case you topple over, so that way you don't break your face.
I'm just sitting there like.
Yeah. And so you've got do me a favor, we'll let you do it because it'd be fun. Roll a constitution check for me.
Ruh-roh.
Just a regular old constitution check.
I'd also like to point out that I passed out before I took my before I played my flute, so I have not done my meditation, so I'm not getting my key points back.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
Oh man, okay.
Ruh-roh.
So Lyric,
Oh,
You-
Jesus.
your whole face, and Toblin jumps for a second. You turn from your drow form into a full-grown fox form, sitting at a stool with your drink.
We have a
Just
token for that now.
Full-out fox. Here, yeah.
Toby
I want a
too.
picture of this. This would be so fucking hilarious.
I know, this would be great, wouldn't it?
It'd be a great art
Okay.
piece. I wonder what Owen's thinking. Like, okay.
Right.
There you go.
I can control it. I can control it. Cool.
So you are in fox form, and Toblin looks at you with without you even really realizing it and says, well, that's an interesting little trick. Kind of chuckles to himself.
I just kind of like half eye look at him and like mindlessly, without even fully realizing I'm in fox form, I just kind of like stretch and then like do the little back turn, you know, where I just like walk around the stool once and then curl up in a little ball.
I love it. That's fantastic. But you're so big that like curling up on the stool is like impossible. So you just keep spinning like those cats do that they can't get comfortable because it's too small.
And then my little feet are like hanging off the stool, like.
It's great.
But much
hilarious.
like a dog or a cat, I don't care that it's too small. If I fits, I sits. And so like I'm just like I got like one arm sitting out the spools of the back and the leg like over here. It's like.
So Toblin kind of walks up beside you and sees your dilemma and kind of pushes one of the stools just a little closer to you.
Aww.
So that way you've got like a couple.
Just like.
This is our new pet fox.
As this is happening, Lyric, the thunder is happening so loudly that it's kind of snapped you out of your spider hull for the time being. Talia, just as this happens, and I know that you're probably excited too, but just as this happens, there's a crash of thunder, and you are also awoken from your daze. From standing in front of you, the giant shadowy form that you were seeing, broken through some kind of wall lined with iron and rock. This figure, Talia, that you saw was a giant shadowy form with seemingly spikes and things sticking up out of its shoulders and out of its head. It was really hard to see any details aside from just kind of a form. You have a feeling, though, that you are being led as far as information goes, and that you will be back, so to speak. And it's kind of an unsettling feeling in like the pit of your gut that you know that you're going to be revisiting this place at some point in your mind.
Okay.
Everybody is awake at this moment, and I'm going to offer everybody the chance to go ahead and wrap up your evening. If you'd like to go ahead and take your long rest, I'll let you do that.
With one of those giant claps of thunder, I kind of like jolt awake and I like scramble off the stools. I knock one on the floor.
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
And I just kind of scramble, and I'm going to move. I'm going to scramble and like hide in this corner here and like wrap myself around the barrel and just hide right down here.
I love it.
And that's just where I'm going to sleep.
Your tail get real poofy.
Yes. Real poofy tail just flickering in the wind. Half my body is behind the barrel, like I'm hiding, but like
that
obviously
is awesome.
my butt's still in the air. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna hide back there, and I'm just gonna, because I learned that I can talk in my fox form, I'm gonna yell out to Toblin, I'm just gonna sleep here, okay?
he kind of jumps for a second and says, I don't know why things surprise me anymore, and just shakes his head as he walks away.
and I'm just gonna like curl up and fall asleep there.
Nice. It's perfect
like,
too. There's like a little sack
in the air, like.
Yeah, there's like, you notice, Lyric, that there's a couple of sacks there with, it's probably like dirty cloths or whatever, like pieces of linen things in there. And it's pretty soft.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and say that you can go ahead and have your long rest there in the corner if you'd like.
Yes,
that'll be fun.
I'm gonna actually take a real long rest for once.
Nice. Very cool. Is that what everybody's trying to do here? Is take a long rest?
I'd probably like talk for like IRL less than 5 minutes with Loki, and then yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I got some RP I need to do with Trix, and then with Artak. Then I'm going to take my long.
All right. So aside from Loki and Trix, is there anyone else that has anything else?
Yeah, just a little roleplay bit.
All right.
When I jerk out of my like daze,
Yes.
on instinct, I'm going to run to the door. Like I'm going to go back out to the lake where I did the first when I got kidnapped. I'm actually going to hesitate with my hand on the door, like remembering that this behavior is why I got kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to kind of like nervously play with Mael's necklace that's now wrapped around my wrist, which is the hand that's on the door with my other hand. And then I'm going to like slowly back away from it. and then decide that I'm going to bed.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice job. That's great, actually. That's really cool. It's good for the She had a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so cryptic too.
Just like, oh,
You're gonna
no.
love it.
I can't do that.
No,
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
All right. Let me see here. Tricks. Loki,
Yes.
you have the floor.
Do you want to go first, Trix?
You.
Oh, well, I'm actually going to leave, so something you want to say
Oh.
before I leave?
Actually thinking about it, would it be okay if I just slept on the floor in your room?
You know what? Yeah, that's fine, but I can't let you sleep on the floor, so I'll take the floor and you can take the bed, but at least bring your sheets so I can use mine to sleep on the floor with them.
I was planning on just bringing my knapsack. I just hold up my travel kit stuff.
Oh, that's fine.
I love it.
Let's go.
I make sure I have the stuff to sleep and the bag with the ring, which I shove it back in there because it's being naughty.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm
you
gonna-
see. Sorry.
I'm gonna grab all my bedding stuff and just gonna like throw it in this corner right here,
Nice,
and
nice.
offer her the bed.
I'll set up my
Yeah.
bedroll here.
Perfect. Perfect. And like you can move the chair easily enough if you need to and all that. Like there's lots of room in here for you to do what you're trying to do, without squeezing too much. Nice. You also see when you slip the ring back in, the stone itself seems to be some kind of a thing going on with it, with the lights, the green and the purple flashes. They're not very bright, but this isn't something that that you would typically want to be wearing when you were out sneaking around. It would give you away. This is what you're thinking.
So the ring glows now.
Well, it kind of flashes purple and green for the moment. You noticed as you were putting it in your sack.
I don't know.
All right. Is there any more? Any more mingling? Any more?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm assuming she's trying to go to sleep. As she's trying to do that, I'm going to actually message Artok.
Oh, I love it because it's a cantrip too, so you can do it as much as you want.
Yes, and I'm assuming in our little adventure together, I had done that before, so he would be considered counted as one of the known targets. So I should be able to communicate with him.
Oh, okay, okay. So if it's cast a spell through.
Point your finger toward a creature within range.
Straight line, kind of like for corners.
1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. So is the wall?
The wall's thin enough.
Yeah, I think the walls
Yeah.
should be able to communicate with you.
What? Oh.
Sorry, I've been a real rule stickler lately. I realized.
No, man. Rules are important.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely.
it makes it fun. So yeah, we'll allow it for sure.
All right, so it's
Definitely.
being loud. All right, so I'm gonna
JB has us on the move. Whee!
communicate with Artok through message and just be like, "Hey, you still there?"
Did you just hit me with a "you up" text?
Yep.
Netflix and chill? Question mark.
No, say don't no.
I'm gonna send back. I only like you as a friend.
Wow.
No, but seriously, I'm just gonna be like,
Nice.
yes. What's up?
What's up? Okay. I was talking with Trix earlier, and I think that ember was from that fire she was describing. I think that was a memory. I think everybody's having aftershocks of memories they've lost. Is anything like that happening to you?
It'll take like a minute, but then I'll send him what I saw with the Neverwinter library.
Nice.
And how it started to burn down around me and all the books I saw,
Ooh, yeah.
things like that.
For sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I felt like I was missing something since we woke up here, and then after seeing that, it felt like that's what I was missing, because I don't remember anything I read in those books, but they were important, and it had to do with what that Zasira person was telling us. So I think that's where we'll have to go at some point.
I actually talked with Sato too. He's also seen some things. I think everybody else is experiencing it as well. But other than that, I heard strange voices. What do you know about time travel?
Artak will just start getting a little bit too, like, technical with his explanation of it, that it's just kind of, it's all theoretical and doesn't really make much sense, and just spends, like, probably way too much time talking about really vague things that has nothing to do with what Loki was talking about, to the point that Loki was just probably would get fed up with it.
Because I'm gonna gently interrupt him as he's explaining, kind of like I'm kicking his mental door open. So yeah, I heard a voice and it said some strange things, but it mentioned time travel. I don't know. It's strange. I'll talk to you about more later, but I think we all need to get
Time
some
travel
rest.
in which direction? Back in
past.
time? To the past. Any specific event or place?
I'll quote you what I heard and see what you make of it. Can I send him the thing you sent me, or can you send it to him so that I don't have to read the whole thing out to everybody?
Oh yeah.
So it remains between us two.
Sure.
Or us three now.
Let me. Oh yeah, there's actually 5. So give me one.
You only shared up to 4 with me. So don't share 5, because I don't even know 5.
I thought I told you the other 2 though.
Yeah, you told me 1, 2.
Oh, I didn't
3,
screenshot them, did I?
4.
That's right. Okay.
I mean, I could probably chat it.
No, I
have
totally can. I just wanted to make sure I had it in my phone still. All
Yeah.
right. There we go, Artak. I think that's right. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Got it. There were 2 other ones too, Artak, that I can give you if you'd like. But I'll have to do it in the Whisper Room.
Up to you.
They're not really that important. Not right now, anyway.
Okay. So we can just...
Yeah.
We'll just do the... I'm just going to send one message back to Loki. Is this who I think it is?
I don't know.
And then just going to start contemplating, and while I'm doing that, just accidentally pass out.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna notice he's gonna pass out. And before I go to sleep, I'm just gonna kind of call out to Trix. Say, "Hey, Trix, are you still awake?"
For now.
Yeah. Do you know what normal is?
No, I have no idea what normal is. I'm just gonna say that with kind of like this sigh of exasperation and many, many years of frustration.
Yeah. I also don't know what normal is. But I mean, you're traveling with a giant, a dragon, me, a blue elf lady, a angry fox. So
Hide the person.
I mean, you don't have to be normal, because none of us are.
Thanks.
And I'm just gonna pass out for saying that from the liquor.
I love it.
Not an elf.
I know that, but they don't know that. You weren't in the Cave of Secrets with us.
I think I know,
You told
but
us what you were.
I'd like calling her that. So even if she corrects me, I'm gonna keep using
The
it.
water genasi.
All right, guys.
So do we actually get a long rest?
Yeah. So with that being said, the night passes into morning. The sun begins to rise. Very dark and dreary day. The thunder begins to clash all around you and build. The rain begins to grow more steady. The sun itself seems to be hidden behind many layers of clouds today. Very dark, very wet, very rainy. Kind of a bad day to be out and about. But nonetheless, the town has to do what the town does, and so people begin to scurry to and from. And in the morning, you hear kind of a knocking on the doors as you kind of begin to stir. Everybody is back to full life. Everybody has recovered their spell slots. No one has any more points of exhaustion.
Yay.
Did we have exhaustion?
You did. You just didn't know it.
Ah.
That was supposed to matter because I was going to throw you a fight at you last session, but we didn't get to it, so it's okay.
A little hard to throw a fight at us if we never leave the inn.
Well, there's ways,
Bar fight.
especially when I have control of your minds.
Bar fight indeed.
Honestly,
Bar fight.
I think Loki and I will get in a bar fight at some point.
That is fantastic.
Each
I can't
other or
wait.
with someone else?
They're going to tag team.
Remains to be determined.
Needs to be determined.
So, as this happens,
We're getting
Toblin-
into the bar fight. Y'all just don't know it yet.
before anything, and this will switchy. Before anything, before we do anything else with anybody, Tovlin walks by, kind of stretches out his arms, looks over in the corner, and there he sees, laying in a very odd, awkward position,
Let me explain this.
stretched
Let me
and
explain
weird.
this.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
Okay, so I've got one arm behind the barrel, and like I'm like twisted, funky. Like my legs are curled around the barrel. One arm's behind it though, and one arm's like out here. But then one of my legs is just like sprawled, and I'm like, there's no way I could be asleep right now, but I totally am.
Yeah.
And like I probably am gonna have back pain.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Like the position that you're in, and Toblin peeks around at you and sees that you're
I've
back
like
in your
knocked
normal
some
form.
stuff over from like shifting into a different form and like
Mhm.
pushing stuff out of the way.
Form.
Like,
Well, not
like
normal,
it
yeah.
looks like somebody just dumped me drunk in a corner. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's great, actually. He just kind of shakes his head, sees that you're mostly okay, and begins to make his way upstairs. And as he does that, he begins to knock on doors. He goes to everybody's door here, Talia's, and knock on the door, and ready to eat. Everybody, let's get something to eat. Knocks on everybody's door, goes to Loki's and to Trix's door and knocks, and goes over to Sato's and knocks and kind of yells and goes over to Zasira and shakes her a little and says, "Hey everybody," he says, as everybody begins to stir, and says, "Hey, I got a lot of food down here for y'all. It was paid for. Your buddy paid for it. Come on down and get it while it's hot." And he just leaves.
When does
Our talk,
Toblin
you're upside
wait?
down.
No, I can't get it. Hold on.
When does
There.
Toblin sleep?
That's a good
good
question.
question.
Does it, and I love him.
Bartenders don't sleep.
He kind of gets like, little here and little there, but yeah, you haven't really seen him sleep, have you?
No.
Actually, I'm
Interesting.
gonna start knocking on doors. I'm gonna knock on
Yeah.
Talia's.
Oh,
And then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Tito's gonna get out of bed.
open,
and start making his way
no.
downstairs.
Loki's
Oh no.
I saw.
and just
I
see
saw-
what's going on in there, and just kind of like
guys,
look
I
at both
saw
of
a
them.
bird fly on Ree's camera and I thought it was on mine and I was freaking out like, what the fuck is in my room?
Yeah, he sees that I have banana bread, so he flew over to his perch that's on the desk to get some banana bread.
Artak, I would like to point out that Loki is on the floor over there and I am on my bed by myself.
I'm gonna open the door and kind of just look at both of you back and forth a couple times, just like nod my head once or twice and just start walking away.
All I'm saying
I love it.
is Azel has a point. It's really easy to ship the two hooved horned people together.
All right.
I guess I'm gonna get up and check it, see if Trix is awake.
You can smell from up here. You could smell like everything that you would want for breakfast is down here. Like you can smell it in the air.
First thing when I wake up, I'm going to look at the bag with the ring and see if it's going to do anything weird.
Sure. As soon as you open the bag, Tricks, you can see there are little sparkles that are randomly happening, purples and greens mostly, that are lighting up the inside
None of the
bag.
vibrating, weird, creepy voice stuff.
Not that you can tell right now.
And by the way, I wonder if you noticed, I deliberately did not make sleep powder last night because I don't trust it right now.
I did notice that, actually. Yes.
Oh, I have I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
I have
go ahead.
a rules question.
Yes.
And I forgot to do this at the beginning of the session, so I'm so sorry. So for breath weapons for Dragonborn in the book, it says use on, you can only use it once before a long rest, but the rule we've been using, that was, I'm not sure where you linked it from, Sato, it says the same number as your proficiency bonus. I just need like a ruling on how many.
Yeah.
you get.
That's fine.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Should we go with the book or should we go with the one Sato linked?
Yeah. Do you remember where you found that, Sato? Was it like was it a D&D book of some sort?
Let me just look. Probably online, but
Was it like a rule amendment somebody used?
My
no
grandmother pulverized this banana bread.
yeah, if you give me a second, I'll
Yeah.
figure it
Thank
out.
you, man. You're the man.
Obviously almost like 6 months ago, so yeah, I totally I'm resetting my spell slots and stuff for the long run, and I
That's awesome.
realized I forgot to talk about that.
Okay, I have a rules question.
Yeah.
What is hit dice?
Your hit die are the number of die that you roll. Like, are you talking about like a short rest?
No, your
Versus
hit
long
die
rest?
is class dependent, right? So if you're a monk,
Yeah.
your hit die is an 8, I think.
Yeah, so you roll it, depending on if it's a short rest or a long rest, depending on what it is, you get to roll a certain amount of hit die back. Like if you're missing a certain amount of life, you can roll it to get a certain amount of life back. For a long rest, you get all of your life back automatically.
It's also the dice we roll to determine our health level up.
Exactly, yeah. Whenever you roll and you add your con modifier, that's the die you use.
Oh, okay. It was just a thing that I could change, and on top it says total 3, but for my thing it also says 1, and I don't know what it means. So.
And like, how many do you have left to use?
Yeah.
You've used 2 hit. I think you used 2 hit die when we were in that chess room.
Yeah,
actually, I believe you should have 4 hit die.
Yeah, so total it equals 4. So it's 1 for first level, and then it's 1 for each additional level after. So it should be 4d8, I believe, is your hit die, your total hit die.
Right.
Which plus your Constitution modifier for each level, which we've already figured out.
If that
What do I use them for?
Well, that's
regain health during short
Yeah.
rests.
Yeah.
Like you can use, like I want to use 2 hit die for this rest, or like for example, you just say like how many hit die you want to use, and that gives you back.
Whatever you roll.
Right.
And if it didn't update to 4, Jamie, make sure that you put your level at the top where your information is. Make sure you've updated your level to level 4, and it should update your hit die for you.
How many experience points total do we have right now?
Oh gosh,
2,700.
Yeah, we're right at level 4. I didn't really give much for. Don't worry though, we'll compensate for.
Apparently, we're doing event-based levels.
We are at the moment.
yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
you just
I'm cool
yeah.
with that. I just
put
need to
put
know.
in your thing and say, "Good morning, Techno." Is it morning for you?
Hey!
Or are you just a night shift?
No, Techno's a night shift.
Oh, they're joining us again. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? How you doing? Thanks for joining us again.
Okay, cool. I figured it out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
Because I was
All right.
seeing what all I needed to get back after my long rest, and I couldn't
Yeah.
remember what it was I needed to get back after my long rest. Except for my key points, because I didn't meditate last night, because I turned into a fox instead.
That's right. That's right. Oh God. So Artok, with your question, unless Sato has found anything. With
I believe it's once per short rest.
Once
yeah, it
per
says
short.
once. It's in the book. It says the once per short rest, but I'll link what we've been using.
Okay.
You can see at the end it says you can use the breath weapon a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain when you finish a long rest. But in the book it says you only use it once, but you can regain it on a short or a long rest. So, like
Okay.
in my mind they kind of even out, but I figure we need to pick one or the other.
Why don't we
Right.
just do the proficiency? Make it better. I think you'll get a little bit more advantage that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just keep it how we've been playing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Let's do that.
All right.
Cool, man. Good question. Yeah. So you all smell breakfast. The floor is yours. Zasira is just gonna go right downstairs.
Lyric is woken by the smell of food, but like drool's running out of her mouth, and she's just like, food, is there food? Is there food?
I swear she's actually part animal.
She sits up a little bit like, food? Why am I in a barrel?
Zasira looks over at you and kind of gives you a smirk. Comes over to the side of it, offers you an arm to help you up. Did you have a rough night?
Stare at her for like a really long minute, but like take her hand confident that I could punch her if I needed to.
Oh god.
I love it. I love it. Let me roll a dex check. All right, 17. Set it low.
Okay. Oh no,
Nice.
I'm not gonna punch her. I was just like, I'm confident that if I
Yeah.
have to punch her, I can punch her.
Perfect.
I'm like, I'll let you help me up. So like,
Roll a Constitution saving throw for me, Lyric.
Uh-oh.
The kink in the neck.
Let's see how it goes today.
Oh,
Roll 20.
My God,
Well, there you
loved
go.
it.
That's how it goes.
So,
no,
Lyric,
my back
you-
doesn't hurt.
She
you
should be
stand
still
up.
for at least a minute.
You stand up straight for a second, Lyric, and after a little stretch and a little on your back, kind of stretching your neck and stuff out, you kind of open your eyes and you look around and you realize you don't feel that damn bad this morning, considering you just spent the night in the corner. And, yeah.
Goblin must have just slipped you
You
something
lucky bitch.
last night.
Copeland totally slipped me something last night.
Feels like an aerosol mist
I'm
or
gonna
something.
like cheerfully wave at Toblin. Tomlin, good morning.
I love it.
Good
I love it.
topic.
Hey, it's good to see that everybody's back up. Yay! Here, I'll go get everybody's plates. And he goes to the kitchen.
Well, everybody's
Sit over here in
downstairs
the
yet.
corner. I'm gonna look at our talk and I'll be like, hi.
Is everybody waking up?
Gotta
and
wave
stirring?
like really nicely. Hey.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna wake up and check to see if Trix is up and tell her that hey, free food waits for no man.
I'm gonna whisper over at Lyric like, did you know that Trix and Loki
Uh-oh.
slept in the same room last night?
It's
No.
a barrel.
Tough love.
I just look at her and say, yeah, I've been there. Don't worry.
It's
Okay,
a
I
good thing
won't-
I showed y'all all my draft form like back in the Chamber of Secrets.
So Talia is just going to. She's got her new outfit on, and
Yeah.
she's definitely got a different, I don't know, like air about her. She's gonna not look at anyone. She's gonna walk out very confidently, but I promise you, she's just pretending.
Yeah.
She'll go downstairs and
Yeah, I'll
come
go.
and sit, I don't know, in this corner away from everybody.
All right. I love it. Very nice. All right. Is everybody heading down? Trix, are you heading down?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I think
Would
I
you-
lost my toe. Oh no,
There you
Nikki
go.
got- Yeah,
I
thanks.
got you, man. All right. So Toblin comes out and he asks Oh, I hit the wrong button. Fuck. He asks, is everybody sitting at the same table?
I believe so.
I
I'm gonna
guess.
sit here.
Everybody except for.
Oh, your friend over there seems
Wanna
to be
turn
sitting
around
by
and-
himself.
Except the antisocial one over there.
I don't like crowded eating areas.
I just look at Trix like, no, not you. Like behind you at Talia.
Ooh.
And you can see Talia sitting in the corner, kind of, So Toblin kind of passes out plates and kind of walks over to Toblin, or over to Talia, passes her a plate.
Toblin walks to Toblin.
Right.
Meta.
Yeah.
He says, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Just but like in a very almost overtly courteous sort of way.
And I would like to say I did bring the bag with the ring down, and I have set it on
Yeah.
the table in front of me, and I'm just kind of giving it a leery eye.
I love that. You see, you can see Trix. She keeps like peering in the bag.
No, I'm not even looking in the bag. I'm just glaring at it.
I love that. So that's cool. That actually will work for stuff I have planned. So, Talia, Toblin kind of looks at you, kind of looks around, looks at everybody. Everybody seems to be more interested in their plate of food than what he's doing over here with you. Even though people are glancing over at you because they're curious. He leans down close and gets down close to, and he says to you, how are you? I knew you were gone for a while there. Is everything okay?
And she's gonna kind of like, just for a second, that air of like, it was an air of almost like the air that like royalty puts on when they come out. That was the air she was putting on, and it's gonna just kind of crack for just a second. But she looks down at her plate. She's gonna be like, I honestly, I have no idea if I'm okay. I don't know.
He looks at you, like in your eyes, deep in your eyes. Let me just, because a chance of failure, right? Natural 20.
Wow.
That's awesome. It's like my first one in this whole damn campaign. All right. He looks at you and he gets real close so that nobody can see. And he takes the shoulder part of his shirt, Talia, and he lifts it back just enough so he can squeeze like the top of his shoulder out. And you can see that the top left-hand side of his shoulder has some kind of a giant brand on it. It's like burned into his skin. It's like some kind of a mark that you can't really make out from this angle. And he pulls his shirt down enough for you to see it, and then quickly pulls it back up so that nobody else can see. And he kind of adjusts his shirt, and he looks back down at you, and he gives you a wink, and he says, "The pains that this place has endured, along with its people, they won't go unnoticed." He kind of picks up an empty cup from in front of you, starts to walk away. Before he walks completely away, he looks at you and says, "We're all marked here." And then he continues to walk away.
That was ominous as fuck.
Does Trix overhear any of that? Because she's the closest one.
I would say
really
no.
far away, yeah.
Yeah, Talia's really far. Talia would only have heard that.
I gotta go check myself now.
As this happens, I'm to go ahead and hold on 1 little second.
I am so confused right now.
Good.
We branded.
I'm going to.
I have to get somebody to give me a tick exam.
All right.
Is the floor open?
So as 1 second here, as this happens, you start to hear very loud crashes of thunder, and Toblin rushes over to the door to try and close the door. And just as this happens, there is a figure that enters the door that sees you all, kind of stops in the doorway, lightning crashing behind him.
Would like to say that I'm wearing my cloak and gloves, by the way.
Classic rogue. I immediately jump into stealth. Who walks there? I'm in stealth.
He's got a green face.
Woo, sorry.
Ah, that was pretty loud, yeah.
That was really loud.
There you go.
As you all gaze at the doorway here, you see a very odd figure approach. He walks in, he's got really, really weird armor on, very, very brushed kind of black leather with a kind of like a brushed aluminum look to it. He stops in the doorway and looks at you all.
All right. Sato will get up and definitely walk towards him.
Talia is
Fast second.
confused.
Yeah.
She's kind of like trying not to like make it obvious she's looking at him, but she's like giving him side eye. Like, who is
Rex
that?
is full on going to move to a chair that is closer to the group.
As I
drag
walk
the
towards
bag
him, I'm
along
gonna
the
give him
table with
like a peaceful gesturing nod, not to spook him, like it's like a friendly encounter, but I'm gonna still have my hand kind of ready to reach for my halberd.
I'm turned around on my stool, still eating and just watching.
Yeah.
Same.
So
Yeah, I'm just gonna approach him and just say, "Howdy, stranger. What business do you
Yeah.
have here?"
So he kind of just looks at you, and he looks over at Talia and looks across at the rest of the bar, and you can see his chest kind of raise and then lower back down, and he starts to make his way past Toblin and past you, Sato, without even saying a word, and just kind of plops down on the couch in front of the fire.
So he basically snubs me.
He seems like he's absolutely exhausted. He flops down on the sofa, the couch here.
So it's not so much that he snubbed you, so much as he's
Yeah.
like, I'm too tired to deal with this
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, we're still curious to who this guy is, considering Nail and some other evil people were in the bar earlier. I see Toblin go up. I'm gonna go, hey,
Yeah.
Toblin, you know this guy, or is he just some stranger?
Yeah, I know this guy. I'm a little surprised that he, Hey, are you alright there, pal? Do you need a drink? You've been gone for a while.
Does
He
have-
kind of shakes his shoulders a little.
Smile.
Shoulders shake a little. He starts to go and try and remove the helmet just a little. Do you resist?
Do I remove what helmet?
Not you.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the helmet comes off.
You motherfucker.
I raise my finger to my lip lash. Yeah.
You should have read the message, damn it.
So the helmet comes off, and you all realize, actually, Sato first, you realize that this is Azel in front of you.
Oh, can
Oh.
I actually describe what I look like?
Sure.
This is gonna be
Please
great.
do.
Okay. All right. So the helmet comes off. The first thing you notice, yes, it is Azel. But what you realize is that his face, even though it's been raining, because he's had the helmet on, is covered in dirt and like what looks like kind of damp, moist because of the rain, dried blood all over his face.
Good
Aside from, you can't see anything other than the armor, but you can maybe assume that there's blood all over his body as well.
Sure, that
But
wash spell doesn't work on other targets.
Yep, just for me.
it is
All right.
like his face is just covered in blood, and he has a slight smirk on his face as the helmet comes off.
Well, I'm sort of in between everybody here, so if I'm gonna yell out loud enough so that like literally Azal and Artok and Lyric and everybody can hear me, and probably Talia can hear me on the other side. Just hey, our little missing half orc friend is back.
I'm gonna jump off my stool and just start walking over.
I
Oh,
am
boy.
going to quickly go upstairs.
Why?
You'll see.
Yeah, you got it.
Then it's gonna look at Azal and say, "What the fuck happened to you?"
Gonna look him up and down. It's
Well.
like, you look like shit.
Well,
And then you're also covered in blood.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna sneak around the group.
blood, shit,
Towards
mud.
Sally.
Yes,
Oh.
everything is on me. Right.
Oh,
at
you didn't
time.
you didn't take my backhanded insult. I thought that was funny.
Ah, I look like an orc. Ha ha ha. Fuck you. All
While
right.
they're talking, Reeds, I'm going to
Yeah.
grab his drum from his room and then come back downstairs.
Yeah.
You good?
Well,
You look awful, man.
if you've got the time, I've got quite a story to tell everyone.
And then I'm just going to walk up and just here.
Oh, nice. That's nice of you.
I'll take it from her gently and just say, I'll like kind of bow my head and just say thank you.
I look at Toblin and like, beers? Sounds like.
Oh, of course. Yeah, this definitely sounds
Beers
like
for breakfast.
like a better
Delicious.
occasion. You know what? Screw the beers. I've got something better. Here, I'll be right back.
Can I have
Well-
tea?
I'm
While
gonna sit
Toblin
next to-
is getting the beers, sorry, I spoke over
That's
people.
okay. I was
Uh,
just gonna say I'm gonna sit next to Talia, and I'm just gonna like plop my plate on the table next to her. I'm gonna look over her, go, "Sorry, I stabbed you," and then go back to eating.
Oh my
Raise your
God.
mic up. We've lost your audio somehow.
Who, me?
No,
Sorry.
Jamie.
Oh.
Sorry, I said sorry, I stabbed you, and I'm gonna go back to eating.
When you do that, I'm gonna kind of jump when you slam the plate down, and I'm gonna look at you. And after you say that, I'm gonna kind of nod, and then say, "Sorry, I left you."
I'm just gonna keep eating.
No nod, nothing.
No, just gonna keep eating.
They'll talk when they're ready, I'm sure. Now is not that
I
time.
love it. I love it. And before we go into the next part, guys, with Azel here, I'd like to just take a little break. Give everybody a chance to stretch out. Go get a drink.
You piece of shit.
Um,
I wish I could drag that in as long
I'm
as I
sorry.
can.
I am. I'm
Thing.
dragging it. I know it's true.
I
I
can do
knew
the
it was
thing.
you.
I can do the thing.
Yeah.
I saw you jump into what you hooch it.
I
and then I
know,
heard
everybody
Discord.
did. They knew it was me.
But also, you're green under your mask,
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
was all
I
excited.
mean, that's kind of a dead giveaway. I am a half orc.
You are. You are.
Plus,
It'll
we
be
knew
cool.
you were going to show up at some point tonight.
Maybe.
Yay!
Who
I'm,
knew?
I'm glad. This is going to be so cool. I can't wait for this. So,
Oh,
all right,
boy.
everybody, take your break.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one.
This is going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to this. So, everybody, take 5,
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
and we'll be right back.
See you in a bit.
All right, I'll be right back too.
Ooh. Better drink my coffee flavored energy drink. Nom on my nom.
This is where I can try to add the chat to my stream. That's a lot of comfort items. Oh no, I didn't need that, thanks.
Can you mute Discord when you put the B right back up?
I can.
I was just wondering.
Stupid Twitch.
What's it doing?
Oh gosh, you're very loud now, hun. Take your mic out of your mouth.
What's it doing?
It's requiring a really complicated password now. I'm trying to think. Okay, I do have a strong password in my repertoire.
There's love, honey, and I'm a Pooh Bear.
Okay. Now, how do I... I'd go here, go here. 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 Okay, maybe it's not here. Maybe it's on the creator dashboard? No.
You guys are gonna force me into Hero Forge, aren't y'all?
One of these days.
Quite possibly.
Stop trying to make me hot.
Well, it's the only way I know how to make the girls on this thing.
She's a gremlin. Stop making her hot.
Well, the picture you put is...
She's a drow.
Yeah, it's like a skinny little dark-haired girl with white hair. Or dark-skinned girl with white hair.
She's an elf. She's a drow.
Yeah.
No, that's not...
That's what I made, is an elf drow.
Go make a Hero Forge.
Chat setting.
Only for my drow, though.
I
tried really hard to make one for the changeling, but that's why I stopped using it, because I couldn't make one for the changeling.
Okay, but if I close this... Okay, it doesn't.
Bears love honey and I'm a Pooh Bear, so do you care? So I'll climb there. Although there's no clothes that match what she's wearing. Though I can show y'all when I talk about her skirt. This is what she's wearing. Because I actually have them. She's wearing one of these. It's just a big piece of silk with a ribbon that wraps into a skirt around her.
Okay.
But
I've returned.
Wrap it like this if she wanted to. Just
Is
like
it hippie colored?
It might be. She does have a thing for scrap fabrics. It's just some scrap silk that's layered, probably 2 layers. And it's just like this. I usually wear these as dresses. But you can wear them as skirts.
That work.
No, not OBS. This. Oh, interesting.
I'm sorry, who is that woman?
Supposedly it's me. Here, I have some reference images that I finally downloaded. I'll show y'all.
So is everybody back, or are we waiting on somebody?
I see an empty picture frame cat tree.
That's
This
odd.
is the skirt he's wearing, sort of. But see, it can be a dress, it can be a skirt.
What?
Or I guess it can be a top if you have a short one.
This is gonna be interesting how I tell you guys, because boy, I got notes.
So none of those are the way I wear it as a skirt or a dress, but whatever. But it's just in how you wrap it. And this is kind of what she's wearing underneath it.
So she's not wearing anything like in the actual picture that you have on.
No, I couldn't find anything. No matter where I went, I couldn't find any clothing that looked like what she wears.
I'm back.
So if I do... Oh, no, it's there. Oh, okay, it's just on a
Alright,
delay.
I've
Alright.
Oh, just to let you know,
These
I
are
may
her
have to
clothes
step away
underneath
for
it.
like a maximum of like 10 minutes to put up some stuff.
It won't even be that long.
My grandmother is coming to bring.
I'm just gonna test
Other
this.
than that,
Case reference. Okay, cool.
When is that?
And she wears some.
whenever she gets here, she's traveling from like upper.
From our aunt's house right now.
And she wears like to carry her items. She wears like little pouches on belts around her waist that
Yo,
she carries
dude.
like little things in,
Artok, where the fuck did you get the drip?
including her teacup.
I'm back.
Is everybody
my,
back?
my new cloak?
Yeah.
The one I got from the dungeon.
Is there no way you can crop that, Reek?
No. Maybe.
Hold on,
Anybody?
this may be better.
I do love that it's like covering your face. You can't even see it.
I thought that'd be a nice addition. But it's
Wow,
also
are you
supposed
saying
to,
you're
like,
ugly?
Well, I mean, he did call
I
me
mean,
a
I'm a-
piece of shit, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's an orc, I'm a lizard.
We're
European
probably
standards
the,
of beauty are not applicable here.
we're probably the ugliest two members of the group, to be honest.
I don't know. Sato and Loki give us a run for our money.
What are you
Pretty
talking
fucking
about?
ugly, you guys.
I'll leave
No,
Loki out
see-
of it.
See,
I don't
Sato-
even have
I got that Vin Diesel look going.
as
I'll have
a
you know, I'm
Look-
very handsome for a dragonborn.
as
Loki's
a
just
changeling. I don't even have features, you guys. I literally have a flat Voldemort face. Like I have no nose.
Voldemort?
Shut up!
Oh,
I have a
boy,
Voldemort
Lyric.
face.
Lyric, I got notes for you too.
Like
I
a
got no
snake,
bird.
like a snake face.
Yeah, I have a really flat,
It's
featureless
true.
face.
That works.
I have pretty much notes for everyone.
Here we go.
As long as it's just your face that's flat and featureless.
Most notably, I
Shut
have notes.
up.
Most notably, I have notes for probably the most relevant people would be Artok and Loki.
This is what changelings look like, you guys.
Magic.
See, they don't got no nose.
They got a
Fat.
nose.
They have
It's like
flat,
Odo.
featureless. They have like
Oh,
flat
Riggs, I did
features.
wanna
They look like
ask.
aliens.
What's up?
Can I send you a private message real quick?
No,
They
you're
look
forbidden.
fucking weird.
Okay.
We're cutting that off now. Early.
Here, I'll send it in document. That way you don't have to slash stuff.
No, you could. No, I'm already on the. It's whatever you want to do. It's
on
fine.
Discord. No, I'll send it on Discord. That's fine.
Alright.
No private messages. No secrets.
No.
The only
Oh my
secret
God.
is the secret that me
He's
and
been
Reeks
back.
have.
He's been back for 30 seconds and he's already starting this, you guys.
It was so complicated to get the chat on my screen, so you better be thankful.
Admit it, you're glad you got it set up before Pariah shows his ugly mug around here again.
Did who say? No, they didn't really talk much about that.
Okay.
You'd have all this
That'll work.
Sir,
The necklace, but
Huh?
you should have all this in your notes.
I do have it in my notes.
Okay,
but
okay.
I also remember you told me some extra stuff after the
That
session.
he did write down.
That Azel
Oh,
doesn't know, but
okay.
that I know. Yeah.
I Hagrided. Yeah, I understand.
So
Yeah,
it's
you-
like
you had
it's
to.
it's like what does Azel know
That's
versus
a
what
verb
does Alec
now.
know?
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
Hagrid
this-
is totally a verb.
This is what I'm
Absolutely.
afraid of because I do this so often. Like,
No, I just
it's
wanted
hard to
be-
know what I told you guys.
I just want to be extra sure because I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to let anything.
No, I
slip in the
appreciate
game.
I appreciate that. So, you don't know a lot about it. You probably know more than they do.
Oh well, yeah. I do.
Gee, you
Okay.
think?
that's a lot of side.
Is that too vague?
Oh God. Oh, you guys are gonna hate this. If I can get to it tonight, you guys are gonna hate this.
I love it. Okay,
I
so
have
is
a
everybody
feeling
back?
tonight is story time. I'm just gonna sit and listen to story time.
It's more or less what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah. tonight's
As
gonna
long
be-
as what we talked about, like,
All right.
happens, Reeks.
Yeah. What's that?
As long as what we talked about happens.
I
Drop
hope-
me bear.
I hope we can get to it tonight. We might not, though. We might not get to it till next week.
I want to get to it tonight. Even
I know
somehow.
you do.
Somehow.
We'll have to see how far
I
we
don't
go.
trust your plotting.
Story time with Azel.
We'll have to see. We have some time still, so.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Story time.
Take a look.
And this is
Read
gonna
a book.
the rain
Hey,
and the storm too. Rhea, is gonna
Sanders.
set that up perfectly. You know what I mean? Like I have plans and stuff.
Okay. So I'm just
Also-
gonna
Yes,
It's not a
Azel-
horrible
Reeds.
thing, right?
Riggs,
Hazel.
remember, I told you, no shenanigans that force us out of town for 2 win-game days. It's only been
No.
half of one.
No, we're not gonna do that for a while again. Trust me.
Azel is like.
It was fun.
Just a little bit. He's literally just laying on this couch.
Yeah, of course. Is everybody back? And I'll go ahead and start the dialogue here.
Yeah. I guess.
Seda,
Yeah, I'm back.
Am I
All
still
right.
streaming okay?
stream's good.
That's what I'm asking Ankh.
Oh,
She's watching.
I would see if you can trim the right-hand side of it at all. Just so it's not covering up, like, the Roll20 stuff at all, but that's fine
It's
too
not
if you want to
covering
leave
up
it
the
there.
Roll20 stuff. It's covering up
Alright.
the slider.
No.
Perfect.
I am
Yeah,
no longer.
so
I am no longer looking at the Twitch stream. So.
No, it's perfect, Reek. You're good.
Thank you. Thank you.
all right. So guys, as you get closer to Azel, you notice that his armor is very unique, and he's very worn out, and you could tell he's dirty. Even with the rain pouring outside, he looks like he is just covered in all manner of just slop. I'll let you continue here, Azel.
Yeah, no. Depending on how closely you look, you can definitely tell that there's some red matter that probably most definitely looks like blood just all over his face. Surprisingly enough, there is none on his armor, at least as far as you can tell. There's probably like mud and grime on it from just, wearing it around in dirty, wet places, but probably not like blood or anything like that, just kind of like bits of mud and specks of dirt and stuff like that on it. But not as much as you might think. It's very clean, but also kind of old looking. Actually, Reeds might be able to explain this better, but the armor itself is, it definitely looks very well made, but also looks like it has been used in some places. Like there's probably some scratches on it from a battle that had taken place in it at one point. Other than that, that's probably all you can tell. And then Azel's just gonna start talking. Well, if you guys have the time, I have got quite the story to tell all of you.
So Toblin walks over to the door here and closes the doors, and then kind of stands by the door and kind of nods at you and kind of gives you the floor.
Thank you, Toblin.
I'm going to grab my food and my bag with the naughty ring, and then migrate over to this corner. There you go.
Perfect.
I'm going to
Nice.
set the ring right there, or
And
the bag with the ring, and then continue eating while I listen.
actually, Azel, kind of in a show of confidence that nobody's really seen before, just kind of jovially and kind of laughing almost, just like, why don't you guys just pull up one of the tables and bring all the seats around this couch. I'm not gonna get up, but you can come around me.
Well, those of you want to be comfy, that's fine, but I'm staying here.
That's fine with me, so long as you can hear me, and so I'll get into it. Toblin's moving the chairs. That's great.
It's the little things.
Grab
The little things.
Chair from Toblin's hands. It's like, oh, I'll take that. How about that beer? Just
Yeah, of course, right on it. And he goes to the back.
Me, please.
And he brings out like a shot glass, and it's full of some kind of like orange liquid. And he kind of brings it out to everybody and passes a shot glass to everybody.
Yep, I down it right away.
And he looks at everybody and he says, "To everybody's good health, welcome back." And he also says, "Welcome to Phandelver," with like underneath his breath, kind of snickers. And then he downs it in front of you. It's wonderful tasting.
Down it.
Yeah, it's a great tasting stuff. Everybody gain plus 10 temporary hit points.
Oh my god.
Nice.
I don't even have my character sheet pulled up. One sec.
Do it on.
Plus 10 character. Okay.
Take it.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
I still had like
get it 'cause
one.
she wanted tea.
I still had like one leftover temporary hit point from
So
that
they don't
time in the
they don't
wizard's
actually
chest.
Yeah, so just get rid of that and just put 10.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Yep.
Wow, I have 46 hit points. That's great.
Nice.
Copycat.
Tomlin,
Yeah.
I love your mysterious liquids.
he
Oh,
gives you
God.
a big old grin and kind of like wipes
All
the
right.
remnants off of his lip and it's good stuff, and kind of goes back to the bar.
And so, yeah, I'm just going to get into this. I'm going to start with just saying, well, let's start from where you guys left me in that little hall of shame that I like to call it.
I would argue you left us.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Well, about that. So, I got transported, seemingly along with the other guy. I actually don't know. I never met the other. Well, let me just get into the story, shall I? So, when I got transported, I fell into a big pool of liquid that I later found out was essentially a big pond of blood. And as I swam out of it and crawled my way to the crest of the hill, I looked over this giant field of just so many dead bodies, piles and piles of them gathered and placed one on top of another, just like a battle had been waged, and it was quite a sight to behold. The land was covered in a very unusual darkness, not natural, and I saw these beings, which later turned out to be tieflings that I figured out, gathering these bodies and carting them away to somewhere I couldn't see. After investigating a little bit on the bodies, I noticed that they were all manner of race, dwarf, orcs, elves, more humans than anything else, but just all manner of races, animals even that they had used presumably for the fight. I surveyed the land and I found 2 light sources and a tower off in the distance. The tower didn't really stand out to me, so I went to a spot. It looked like there might have been a cave over there, so I traveled over there and just traveling and hiking through all this ravaged area of just desecrated corpses just everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there was another pile of corpses. And I kept traveling and traveling, and I finally made it to this cave, which had a light source coming from it. There were 2 people in front of that cave, seemingly standing guard. Not wanting to rouse suspicion, I sneaked in to get closer to see what was going on. And as I got closer, I noticed their eyes were sewn shut. They were humans. And the first thing they said to me, which they knew I was there, the first thing they said, not to me, but one said to the other, "This one is not tainted." And so, once I realized that they could sense me, I talked to them and I told them that I was not from this place, that I didn't know where I was. And the next thing I know, I'm being escorted into the cave. 1 second, I'm looking at my notes. Wow, I did not take good notes at the beginning. Okay, so as they escorted me into this cave, I noticed that this was not a natural cave. This had been carved into the side of this mountain or the hill or whatever it was. I can't even remember. It wasn't that important. And they just kept pushing me in. I noticed some that same design that we had been seeing in the dungeon, the triangle with the circle above some door frames and some entrances. They led me down to a spiral staircase, and I went down it. Blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm also looking at my notes while I'm talking. Eventually, they led me to this room where 8 people were that I counted. There may have been more hiding in the shadows. I don't know. But these people, they were behind... Oh, shit. No, let me go back. Sorry.
Yeah, this is exactly why I asked you. Like, do you have all your notes right?
No, I have all the notes. It's just... I'm going ahead without reading the notes, and that's
It's all right, man.
Okay.
Take your time.
So,
it's okay. Take your time.
Before they led me to the room with the 8 people, they pushed me down this hall, and to the sides of the hall were these rooms where these creatures, they looked like tieflings, were doing something strange with these bodies. They were taking some body parts off of these dead bodies and sewing them onto other bodies. I don't know what they were trying to do, but... Well, actually, I do know what they were trying to do, but I'll get to that later. As I walked further, I noticed one of the tieflings was very familiar. He was missing a horn, and he had a scarred eye. He had a missing eye. But he looked very familiar, like that tiefling friend that we met on the side of the road, but he was a lot younger. I didn't have a chance to talk to him at that point before I was led into the room. He was shackled, all these tieflings, even him, I think, right, Reeks? Even him?
Yes.
I didn't actually, okay. He was shackled almost like they were slaves. And I mean, I made note of it, but I didn't really do anything, so I just kept moving forward. And they led me to this room with the 8 people in it. They were all hooded. They in cloaks. They were behind some desks with I literally wrote down 8 hooded cloaked figures at desks with papers and shit. Anyway, continuing.
I love it.
So they led me into this room. The main person, or what seemed like the main person in that room, looked at me, or looked at the 2 people who escorted me into the room, and sent them away to where I was there with them. And he talked to me, and he asked me what I was doing there, how I was not tainted, and why I didn't look scarred or scratched from the battle. And I just straight up told him the truth. I didn't know where I was. I don't know how I got here. Based on the looks of things, I wasn't even from this time. And so that's what I told him. And it turns out I was right. He was really tall. He had a very, very commanding, deep voice. And yeah, I just told him about where I came from, what had happened to me, and shit. I did not actually take really great notes of what he actually said, except
It's
for
fine.
this.
We don't need every detail.
No.
Just
So what I'm gonna say is, he seemed to believe me, and so he gave me some information about what was going on and what battle was taking place with who. He told me about the Shinza Alliance and the House of Phandelver and the United Clans of the Azrodrex, which I remember hearing from my time. I don't know who said that, but I do remember. And the sect of the Obzobas, or the Yonsar champions, and the Pact of the Avatos Plains, and the Order of Cade. Right, and there was, you remember that code word we had in the dungeon? Well, apparently that was...
Neogrob?
Yes, that was a united member of this alliance that they were all part of. It's called the Zealgrob Circle.
Huh?
You have weird names.
Don't blame me, blame Reeks.
You're welcome.
As I looked at each of these hooded figures, I started to notice that they were all wearing masks. All of them, like, silver in color. They were all different. I couldn't really get a great read on them, but they were all different looking masks. There were symbols branded into the desks. I'm assuming that related to each of their allied clans, but I couldn't get a good read on them as well. I couldn't see what the symbols were. I just knew they were different. As I kept talking, and I kept talking about the places of my time, I talked about Phandalin, I talked about Neverwinter. Actually, when I talked about Phandalin, somebody spoke up. the main person that I was speaking to was General Phandelver. And the person that spoke up laughed and said, "Did you hear that, General Phandelver? They named a town after you."
Huh.
Somebody stood up, a younger person stood up, took his cloak off, took his mask off. And actually, the main guy also took his mask off at this point, and I got a really good look at their faces. The guy who stood up, who basically didn't believe me, I told him about the room that we were in, how I got transported here, about how we had to... He didn't believe me. He spoke up and he talked to the main guy. And that's when I spoke up and said, actually, in that room, you were there too, but you were not how you look now. The guy that stood up and didn't believe me had the same face as the guy that was standing in that room when I got transported. The guy that I touched with Loki that transported me to the past.
The guy who was stuck in there?
Yes, that's what it looked like. Both of these people, the main guy that was speaking to me, General Phandelver, and this other kid, I actually forgot his name, but I have it lower in my notes, so I'll tell you later. They both actually, Lyric, they both looked like the same race that you are. Very pale skin and fair hair, like light-colored hair. They didn't have very many features to their face. So I can only assume that they're the same as you. We talked and we kept... He talked to me about a great many things, actually, about the battle that's been taking place and what they've had to do in order to fight back against the scourge that's been plaguing this land. The curse, he actually called it. He told me about a contraption that they had been using called the necroanimaphasic complexium. Apparently,
What's it?
the necroanimaphasic complexium.
We've heard that before.
Yes, we have. I don't remember where.
Huh.
He told me what its use was, or at least as far as he knew what its use was. They had been using it as a means to put back together the bodies that had been lost in the war and bring them back in some type of dark magic ritual in order to put them back onto the front lines and fight for them again.
Wow.
He was not happy about the arrangement that they made with the Zealgrob Circle, who was utilizing it. But in order to bring back these bodies, they had to be mostly undamaged. So what they ended up doing, and what I saw in those halls, they were cutting up the undamaged parts of the bodies and stitching them together in some sort of horrible mix of races just to get them moving and able-bodied enough to get back onto the battlefield.
Just from a roleplay perspective, I want to mention that the more you're talking, like, the more obvious that what you're saying, describing what's happening to these bodies and to the people, is really, really upsetting Talia. Because that breaks every rule that she has ever been taught about respecting the dead and respecting the line between the living and the dead. And so this is really, really, and you can see it, like, she's rigid, her hands are clenched in fists, like, she looks like she's about 2 seconds away from flipping the table. She looks so angry.
That's fantastic.
And, I'm going to state again, I'm going to emphasize, they were not, or at least the main guy was not happy about this arrangement. He said, but in war times, you need everything that you can get. And that's what he did. He told me that they had been fighting. I have to scroll down to my notes because it's kind of... Okay. They had been fighting an alliance of sorts, an evil alliance, that had been presumably putting this curse on the land. He called it Zinkagra's Reclaiming. They utilized extraplanal and extra-dimensional beings that fought for them in order to try to win the battle on their side, and so they've had to use any means necessary to stop that organization from taking over the lands.
As you said that, Loki's just gonna kind of almost drop his drink and then just kind of question, fiery extra-dimensional beings? And I kind of shoot a glance towards Artak.
He wasn't specific. He just said extraplanal and extra-dimensional beings. And they're all a part of the Zinkagra's Reclaiming, and I'll spell that for you. Zincogra, Reclaiming. I notice as he kept talking, and I gave him descriptions of our group, because again, I was telling the truth at this point. I gave him descriptions of our group about who we were, about what our abilities were. He started to get a bit more attention to that and talked about a prophecy that had been mentioned. He didn't say much, but what he did say was that there was a prophecy of 7 people who would bring balance to the land and remove the curse that keeps plaguing it. It came in cycles, this curse. It came to reclaim the land which had flourished for a time and then comes back and destroys it all over again. He talked of this prophecy of 7 beings that could stop the curse and bring peace to the land. He didn't say much, but he gave me the names of the beings from the prophecy. The healer, the seer, the gatekeeper, the shield, the protector, the caller, and the shadow. He didn't say much more than that, but he did say, off the coast of Neverwinter, there are a chain of islands untouched by the curse, untouched by war, untouched by time, seemingly. Can only be reached by ships. Deep within the islands is where the prophecy has been foretold. He told me if I wanted to know more, that I should travel there. He also told me that there had been alliances with the orcs and the pixies to help fight this battle. Unfortunately, the battle decimated the pixies. They did not... What little of them survived, they did not make it through the war. The orcs... There had been a treaty signed with, and if I remember this right, because I don't have the notes right here, I mean, it's in here, but I can't see it right now, 7 original orc tribes, and one of them broke off. So there were only 6.
That's right.
And I don't think he actually gave me the names of the orc tribes.
I did not.
Yeah.
Huh.
The pixies and the orcs actually, I'm sorry, the pixies fought the orcs from what this note is saying.
Yeah.
Pixies fought the orcs in a war and they did not win.
That's right.
The orcs decimated the pixies.
What were they supposed to do against orcs?
They were very powerful in magic, but they were not very powerful in fighting. So the orcs could withstand the magic, I'm assuming, and just completely massacre them all. He told me more about the contraption. He told me that what it does is it bridges and destroys the barriers of laws that have been employed, barriers of laws of life and life and death, and reanimates them. Again, he was very ashamed to have used it, but the Zealgrob Circle were their allies, so they were basically forced to use it. He didn't say much more than that, but he did say that he thought I was the caller. I told him my profession. He asked me if I could fight, and I said my profession was a bard. And as I said that, he said, "Oh, the caller." And the next thing I know, he, in a huff, basically, he starts saying, "You need to get going, we need to send you back." So he talks to this younger person who looks like him, just younger. I assume that whoever the person was in the hallway and whoever this person was in this room was the son of General Phandel, the man who was talking to me. He gave me this armor to better protect myself, and this sword that you see on my hip. It was actually kind of similar to the broken sword that I found in that place that burned down to the ground.
Oh.
He ordered his son to accompany me to the portals that the wizards had placed to bring people onto the battlefield. And so we did. But that's when things started going wrong. We felt shaking and tremors, almost like the structure that I was in was being attacked. And I'll tell you more about the structure later, but that's not important right now. So on we went. I gathered my armor, I put it on, I put the sword on my hip, and I followed. Shit, okay. Before we left, I asked for one last thing, which was I noticed our tiefling friend, who, if you guys remember his name, is Lefon Encity. I asked for him, and I didn't even give him much of a description, but General Phandel brought in the 2 people who escorted me and said, "Bring in the line walker." And so a few minutes later, there he was, standing in front of me, a lot younger than he is now. And he noticed me. He knew who I was. He he joked and said, "Fancy meeting you here," or something like that. I can't actually remember what he said, but it was something to that effect. He knew who I was. He knew who you were, Loki. And so that's when I had the idea to send you a message.
So it was you.
Yes, I sent you several messages through him, actually. I mean, I hope you got them all.
I got most of them, and I thought it was you, but I wasn't too sure.
Yes, he gave me some information about things. I'll have to remember it. He said something, and I can't remember the context because I didn't write it down in my fucking notes. But
Sorry.
Tickled.
Damn, that was going so well. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. What were you trying to figure? What were you trying to remember?
I hope that was in character.
I had a quote. I had a quote from him. I just can't remember the context in which he said that.
He you mean about remembering? He helped. He's like, yeah, I would have never gotten out of the mud without you guys.
No.
Oh.
The quote I have was all for purpose, no fears.
Yes.
Just purpose.
Yep.
For purpose what?
All for purpose, no fears, just purpose. And I think what he was referring to, if I can remember correctly, was
I don't know, can you?
how he was there in the first place, how he remembered me. Before General Phandel let me go, he told me whatever damage was done in the future, I must go back and fix it. He also talked of the Hidden One. And I clearly remember the son's name now. The son's name is Sonyus, S-O-N-Y-I-S, Sonyus Phandel. We came across, as we were leaving, as the place was under attack, we came across a number of people who looked like they were dying, who looked like they were hurt. There was a dwarvish man, maybe, with a strange blue arm on him. Maybe a small human, maybe a halfling, but it definitely wasn't natural. He led me to a bookshelf with a candelabra next to it. There was a corridor hidden behind the bookshelf that he sent me through. And we got led through a cavern. He was pushing me out of this place. Also, Riggs, I have a question.
Yep.
The cavern that I went through in the mini session that we had today, would I have remembered that as similar to what I went through in the past, or no?
Sure.
Okay. I'll bring that up later. Sorry. As we exited this area and got out into the open, I noticed maybe 30 people or so, a few dozen people to my right who just looked worn and beaten and almost like the battle had been lost already. And then the more I saw, the more we went through, I could see ogres that were seemingly fighting on our side, or the good guy's side, or whatever side you want to call it. Fighting on their side, fighting some shape I couldn't see very well. They were swinging like trees at this black mass, just trying to attack this thing. There were explosions everywhere. Yellow. I don't know if it was magic or if it was. Do I know of gunpowder? Does gunpowder exist?
You would not know of it.
Okay, fair enough. So some type of explosions, whether it was magic or something else, I don't know. There were humans in long white cloaks with red, almost like what Talia's wearing right now, actually, even though she's apparently wearing black. They took some type of hit. It was another explosion, and they instantly were vaporized. It was horrible to watch. We got closer and closer to the place where I was being led. As I got there, I saw a line of small humanoids. I couldn't make them out. In maroon red armor with feathers sticking out of the shoulders. They were protected by some type of blue magic bubble or something. And then, or actually, Riggs, remind me, was it the magical bubble that kind of absorbed them?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't write it very well. I just did blue magical
okay. You're doing
bubble.
great,
and then,
actually.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing awesome.
I noticed back to where the few dozen men were kind of sheltered and leaning against walls and looked just beaten and broken. They got back up and started going back into the fight, almost as if they had gained their morale somehow. The more I looked, the more and more bodies there were. The tieflings, just kept picking them up and carting them away to fix them and bring them back out into the battle. As I looked more into the field, I noticed this huge mass getting closer and closer, not only to me, but the rest of the war party in general. As it got closer, I noticed it was I'm not even sure how to describe it. It was huge. It had tentacles on top of its head. It had a huge, large. Actually, do I know exactly what it looked like?
Yeah.
Okay. It had a huge, large eye. It was like, if you've ever seen a giant ball float, this is what it looks like. A giant eye in the middle and huge razor-like teeth, rows and rows of teeth. And it looked at me. And I'm not even sure how to describe it, all my motivation, all my drive, everything just drained from me. It felt like maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just step out of the way and kill myself before I become a burden. Or maybe I should join the other side because it's useless to be on this side. I've been in that place before, and it's not very fun. I grabbed my fang like I usually did when I was in those places. And that snapped me out of it enough to keep following Sonya's. to the portals. As it kept getting closer, it shot these rays of energy out of these stalks on its head. It wiped out half of the men that were nearby just from one magical ray. It was just... I had the feeling that the battle had only just begun. As we got nearer and nearer to the portals, I noticed these symbols everywhere of flags, of clans. I asked Sonius what they were, but he said there wasn't enough time. Let's see, sorry, I'm trying to... all he said was that it concerns the pact that they had. As we got to the portals, there was a sound. The portals were very... they didn't seem very stable. They seemed to just, like, quickly be thrown together in order to transport from one location to the other. As the more I looked, the more bodies came through from what it looked like the unnatural bodies that were stitched together. They were sending them back into the battlefield to fight. Before I went through the portals, I noticed that Lafon, our tiefling friend, was there as well. He had somehow gotten there quickly. And I asked how he got here so fast and what's going on and what the meaning of all this was. And all he says is, oh shit, no, sorry, that's for something else. I'm like going back and forth between like really good and really bad. He managed to tell me, he managed to let me send more messages to you, Loki. And he gave me more information. One of them was about the sleeping giants. He told me they hunger for more than rare magics. I don't know what he meant by that, but based on what Toblin told me, I have an idea. He said, among other things, I can send a message. So he did. And he was being very, very vague about everything. And then he said in a joking voice, "Now, I can't give it all away. That'll ruin the future." Just joking with me. One of the other messages he told me to send you, and I was limited in what I could say, but I remember this clearly. He told me to find Troubados, the hidden one. He told me to look among the deepest shadows of the marshlands to the south, by the coast, for the key to the encasing. He told me that what he was doing to be able to send these messages was forbidden, but it was worth the price. He also told me to pay Troubados whatever he desires for the key. Spare no expense for whatever he asks. You must acquire it.
Huh.
He also gave me visions, and he gave me 2 words called the mark. He gave me visions of this symbol etched into the bodies of these creatures that had been brought under control, it looked like, to be forced to do someone's bidding. I don't know why he gave me that vision, but there were marks, and as soon as Riggs figures out the symbol, he'll put it in story stuff, I'm assuming. But
Marks, are we talking like brands? Like burned into them?
Yes, magically. I had visions of people doing, some people doing magical rituals with instruments and candles and all sorts of things. It was a magical brand that appeared on their head. It disappeared after being placed on them. I saw visions of ogres that were chained. They had marks on them. Other fey creatures that had also had the marks on them as well. Just horrible to see. He allowed me to get a few messages out, and the next thing I know, I'm brought back to the battlefield. I was taken to this very white, very blank space with nothing but our tiefling friend in front of me. As I came back,
every time you say tiefling friend, I keep thinking for an instant you're talking about me.
I don't think of you as a tiefling, though. That's the funny part. Anyway, the next thing I know, I'm brought back to the battlefield, and Sonius is there. He's trying to, from what he told me, I was in a daze. I was just kind of in a trance. I snapped out of it, and he told me, "You must go now before it's too late." The entity was getting closer. The giant floating mass was getting closer. And then my fang, interestingly enough, as I got closer to this portal, lit up a bright orange light and almost started pulsing with the portal. And the portal slowly turned orange as well. I didn't think it was anything dangerous, so I said some parting words to Sonius. I may have warned him about his future in a cryptic way. I maybe shouldn't have done that. But I walked through, and the next thing I know, I'm right back where I was before I got teleported. And the first thing I see is Meepa standing in front of me.
I knew he was there.
My baby.
He was actually he was looking at the lion's head, which was following Meepa's movements, kind of poking at it, prodding at the lion's head. The lion, I mean, if it could have an emotion, it was definitely agitation.
He tends to have that effect.
I asked him what he was doing here, and he said that he had been following us for a while, and that he knows something is wrong, and he said, "Bad people stole Loki again." Sorry. Why did I? Wow, I did not write that very well. Okay, sorry. Bad people stole Loki again. That already happened to me for once. I don't want it to happen again. I noticed he's got Mipa's got a scar on his, from what this note says, middle finger to his elbow. I don't know how he got it. Was it fresh when I saw that, or did it seem like an old scar, Riggs?
I'm sorry?
The scar on Mipa's finger. I'm sorry about the bird.
Oh, no, I can't even hear the bird.
I can't hear
Okay,
bird.
good.
Neither can I. I heard it like once a couple minutes ago. Noise cancellation is a beautiful thing.
I told Mipa.
Yeah.
So I'll just continue. You can. I told Mipa that this thing wanted Mipa to tell this thing his greatest shame, and I told him that, and so Mipa, in Mipa fashion, essentially told his life story to the frickin' lion.
Poor lion.
He told of a story about his family that counted on him, but that he couldn't do anything to help because there were too many of them. They lived happily in this village that they had kind of made on this land, this territory that they had claimed as their own. And these green creatures, these green monsters, would I actually know them as goblins? Would I know what goblins
Yes.
are? Okay. These goblins started attacking the village, their little territory, and chased them out of it, or chased Mipa away anyway. And eventually, when Mipa came back, he found that any of the kobolds who weren't dead were then enslaved and used as well, slaves to do the goblins' bidding. They found something in that territory. It was an interesting tree with some very rare healing properties, a magical fruit that it bears once every few years. He was sorry, I'm gonna kind of go all over the place because I didn't write this very well, but
Summarize.
the reason he was counted on, that Mipa was counted on, was because he had slain a monster that had hurt his people and ate them. He was regarded as a hero after that, so people started to count on him. But knowing Mipa, he probably didn't even slay it. He probably fell over and a rock fell on it or something. After the goblins took over the town, the territory, they took this fruit that blossomed deep below in a cave in this territory, and they took it and they brought it to this village, this town, and sold it, or tried to sell it to the people for money, for food, for whatever they wanted. But then the goblins later, after selling it, came back and stole it. And the people who found out about what happened, they revolted. But the goblins fought back, and they fought hard. They killed most of the people who tried to attack them. The kobolds tried to help, trying to catch the goblins off guard, but to no avail, and that's how they ended up becoming slaves. He wants to learn more about the fruit. He wants to help his people in any way that he can, but he couldn't do it himself, so he went to look for powerful friends that could help, and he spent some time looking, and he found Loki. He met Loki, and he was the only creature who was genuinely kind to him. And he began to travel with him and became close. He told me about the night that they were getting ready to go to bed. And Loki, I'm sorry, this may not be my story to tell, but Meepa told me about what you had told him about your family and your illusion magic and how it was important to your heritage. And you told him that you needed to be stronger. Meepa tried to reassure you. That's what he said to this lion. He said that you heal the land and that you make it better and that you are powerful. There were these big bad men that he said they forced and blackmailed him. They threatened to reinforce to help the goblins and destroy the remaining kobolds left in the territory. Meepa didn't want that to happen, so he felt he had no choice but to betray you. But Meepa, he had plans. He stayed with the people, and he decided to stay as a cook, and he planned to make poopum stew for them to get them to be really, really sick in order to distract them enough that he could get you out of there safely.
Mention of poopum stew, Trix kind of just shudders a little bit.
He actually... Nope, I'm not going to say that, sorry. I will say this, though. He does seem to know what he's doing when he's cooking. He does seem to be very gifted in cooking. He stayed around at the docks as he was, going back and forth being the cook. He needed more help than just himself. He stayed around at the docks to look for people to help in getting Loki out of there. That's when he noticed us. Noticed that we were a very interesting group. He didn't do anything at the time, but as we traveled and as we got to that shack in the marshlands, in that weird little marsh that the fucking mosquito took a third of my life away from me.
That was out of character.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
No, I'm talking about my laugh. My laugh was out of character.
Oh.
That is not something Trix would laugh at, but I totally would.
He followed us to this house, which he called his house, his home, that he had made. He had been around the docks. He had been around everywhere. He knew all the ins and outs. He had found caverns. He found broken down ruins. He told of a really big cave by the marshes that he found. He told the lion, and by proxy me, that's where he found a lot of pretties. That's what he called them. And that's where he found that weird stone that he holds in his hand. We came into his house and made the ground shake. He thought they tried. Sorry, he thought that we tried to burn the house down. Thedo.
Yes, Sato.
He used that stone in his hand and he got away.
I didn't do nothing.
I have
He
vague
saw.
memories of Sato wanting to burn it down.
He threw a torch.
Ah.
When he got away though, he kept following us. He saw one of us, me, I think, get sick. He saw the infighting, but he didn't care. He just wanted. He just needed the help. He was sad. He was ashamed about this too, but he was sad. He tried to steal something from us to sell back to us for money. But he screwed up and he fell. And that's where we met him. And this is a direct quote. Meepa saw a big dumb barbarian warrior that tried to burn down his house, so Meepa kicked him to bring him down to Meepa's size.
I miss
We're gonna have
Meepa.
a conversation with
That is adorable.
He told me about what they did to Loki. They did bad things to his mind, but they let Meepa stay. He was trusted to cook, and he made a pretty mean chili.
Uh-huh. You sure did.
That's when he had the idea to make the poopum stew. After he told us about what was going on, he went back in. He made the poopum stew. But the guards, it was already too late. We had already gone in. They had already been alerted to us. So Meepa, trying to help, he closed off the back way to keep the bad guys from getting out. Or getting to us. But he was clumsy. He was the one that started the fire.
Poor Meepa.
He was sad. He thought he killed us. But then he found us out back after we got out, and he knew that Loki was safe. So he went away to go help his other friends. He didn't say much more than that. He had heard that there were strangers in town, in Phandelver, and he went to check. But by the time he got there, they were gone. We were gone, so Meepa found our footprints, he found our tracks, and he followed to make sure that Loki was safe. And Meepa followed through the cave and the dungeon. He saw us jump into the black darkness, as he called it. And he followed. But by the time he caught up, the door was already closed and he couldn't get through. There were sounds on the other side that he couldn't make out. I think that was the chess match. No, he is not wearing a smoky G-string.
What?
Dato, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Fucking break the engine.
Wow.
Sorry. Okay. So after a certain amount of time, I'm guessing after the battle, the chess game was done, the doors opened, so he went down the stairs that he saw, and he saw the the undead that were just standing there doing nothing. Meepa stayed back, but he noticed that we were having trouble, so he helped us and pulled two other shiny yellow levers. And
The looks. Priceless.
that was
Hi, Bob.
basically all he said. So once that was done, the lion, almost in a fit of frustration, very quickly said, "Your burden has been shed," and opened the door.
Nice.
I was like, I just wanted to know what your burden was on your life story. Get the fuck out of here.
It's actually funny in our mini session, like literally Reek said that. So, just like, oh my god, go away. But yeah,
I'm with Loki.
eventually,
Poor lion.
right? Eventually, we made it to this. We got past the lion, and we went down this hall. Directly in front of us were a group of 6 undead in front of a door that was closed. Out of game. Thanks, guys, for locking me in here with the undead.
Yes.
Blame Loki. Actually, blame Sato.
I mean, it was my idea.
No, Sato's the one who smacked the giant undead
True.
mass thing. And
He had to
That's
move.
true.
He had to move the
off.
chessboard pieces too, though.
So
From
through
behind the
very,
door.
so through very lucky maneuvering, I got to the door without touching the undead. Surprisingly.
To be fair,
That was fun.
last time you disappeared, you came back to your drum. We didn't know
That's true.
you'd show up back there.
That's true.
Hey! That was
the whole
out of
reason we took the
character, all
drum
right?
with us.
That was out of character. I did not know. And Azel still doesn't know. So, anyway,
Still doesn't know what.
Mipa.
He is now.
he doesn't know that you
locked
locked him in there. Anyway.
Oh.
Mipa, little resourceful little twit, pulled out that black stone again and vanished almost right in front of me.
Cheater.
And next thing I know, the door is opening. And I get through to the other side, and I just congratulate Mipa. I'm like, that was a great job. Yeah, and he responded. He basically said, Mipa pulled all the levers until one of them worked.
Oh god, no.
Oh dear God.
He undid all the work we did, guys.
No.
There was something I noticed.
Oh no, don't tell me he unleashed the giant undead mass.
There was something I noticed in the lower, and to my left as I got through the door. It was a door, and it was open. So I went to investigate,
no.
and the most unimaginable thing you could think of.
We saw it.
Was it a
Just in
giant
front of me.
undead amalgamation of a lot of different things that was really, really creepy?
Very specific, but yes.
Yeah,
Shit.
we saw it.
Knock me out for trying to speak to.
So
I'm sorry, it was a what?
it was a giant.
Did we not tell you about that?
No,
She
nobody
wasn't
has
there.
mentioned an undead amalgamation to me.
You wouldn't want to know about it, honey. Just tune this part out.
Is there a tiny burb on her head?
There's a tiny burb on my head,
It's
yes.
positioned perfectly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Just,
Aw,
just tune it
Bob.
out, honey. It's gonna give you an aneurysm.
I didn't know what was in there, so I got closer.
Oh
And-
no.
As I got
Oh
closer,
no. Please tell me you didn't let it out.
the door was open.
Ah.
Need to let it out.
What the fuck?
Ah.
The door was already open. I went closer to investigate, and it started crawling towards me. It didn't say anything to me, but it tried to get close to me. It tried to grab me. I got scared, and I noticed the lever next to the door. It got close enough to the door that I used one of my spells to push it back into its place, and then I ran to the lever as quick as I could. but there was so much rubble on it. I couldn't get to it in time, and Meepa, he came to me and grabbed me and whisked me away to a portal. I couldn't close the door.
Oh god!
Oh god, it flew. Okay, Talia, there was a giant.
Don't tell her about it.
amalgamation.
She's gonna have an aneurysm.
It's
Hey,
loose. She
can I-
needs to know.
We'll
take-
get down to it later.
Can I take one real quick pee break, and you guys can I'm sorry, I really have to pee.
Let him
It's-
pee, and we can RP a little.
Yeah, discuss. I'll be right back.
It was big, and the faces shifted,
Would you
and it had
stop?
tendrils, and it
She's already
did things to Loki.
Natalia's just gonna like slam her hands down on the table so hard that like the drinks fall over and all the dishes rattle, and say, "Enough!"
You couldn't have fixed it anyway. It would have just killed you.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know that.
It mind controlled Loki and made him do things. It was spooky.
I'm gonna walk
You
over there.
just
and-
bullied Loki. Me and fuckhead.
You
We
weren't
yapped
in
right
the
out.
room with the damn thing.
We noped right out of the situation.
I would like to correct her. It did not mind control me. It was speaking to me. I was trying to communicate with it. But I understand Trix's.
Trepidation.
I understand her actions, and I do not hold it against her. But I really needed to talk to it to figure out what was going on. But I unfortunately didn't have enough time. But from the glimpses I caught of it, I think I recognized the face on it.
I'm sorry, I really have
As
to pee.
who?
Azel's gonna jump in and say, yes, I also saw a familiar face. It was actually of our tiefling friend.
I was afraid that was the face.
Just like
That's what it looked like to me.
they say that, just like one single tear just like spills over and runs
Hey,
down
so
Talia's
my
face.
question is, if the thing was locked in that basement, obviously for a long time, definitely locked in the thing, how did we run into the tiefling out in the mud?
That's my question.
Also, how did the tiefling find Azel in the past?
Timey-wimey bullshit. We'll get to that later.
Well, that
And
could be
not
the
be
same
dead.
out of character. No, in character. Are you asking the question in character?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if he has the memories of the past, then this amalgamation could be a slightly more advanced version of him from the future that's been brought back to this time.
That.
And if he has those memories, then he knows what's going to happen to him.
Or the tiefling friend that we met on the highway isn't our tiefling friend.
Maybe not the right timed tiefling.
No, it could just be something else with his face.
Loki,
I don't think so.
did you
I
mention...
mean,
Hold on, Loki, did you
drugs
mention...
and changeling.
Did you mention that thing tried to speak to you?
Yes.
Did speak to him.
I was trying to communicate with it through what appeared to be telepathy.
It's...
No one
it's
else,
very...
but I could.
It's very possible he probed your... That thing probed your mind and saw that face. And
Yeah, but you saw the face too.
Yeah, but
I
that
also
was
know
after
the
Loki
face.
talked to him.
exactly.
That's just the thing, though. It wasn't just a single voice. It was an amalgamation of thousands of screaming voices. I'm sorry, Talia.
I'm not sure what we saw was real. I think it was just a way
Whatever
to...
it is, it's
Just
Definitely
shake
have to
suffering.
go back and deal with that at some point, and before that thing escapes.
not only
Good
that.
luck with that, guys. I'm not going back.
If
That's a future yes problem. It's not a
Anyway.
today yes problem.
Continuing, I have a little more.
Okay.
As we kept going, Meepa and I, we went through the portal. We saw a bridge that was still that was there over the blackness
So
that we
that
fell
you
into.
dropped Loki down?
We'll
You're
not talk
welcome.
about that.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
exactly.
Bridge.
You're welcome.
You're
Oh,
welcome to the bridge.
oh.
That was me. I did that.
Well, thank you. Anyway, we crossed the bridge and we came upon a bookshelf that had already been opened. It kind of gave me
Really
deja
didn't
vu.
clean up our path behind us much, did we?
Yeah.
Kind of gave me deja vu of when I was being led through the complex that I was in the past. I don't know if it was the same, but it was definitely very similar. I went through the corridor and eventually made my way to a block of cells, and that's where I found you guys.
You
Along
find
with
where the block of cells were. There was a lot of twists and turns between the bookshelf and the cells.
out of game, Riggs put me there. In game, I was very smart.
Are you sure in-game Vipa didn't show you? Because
Actually, no. That's exactly what it was. In-game Meepa followed the tracks. Yeah,
because I did have like illusions up to like mark the path.
Yeah,
I was wondering if we could figure out how long. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If it was still up, would give us an idea of how long you were in the past.
Well, if you said that in game, I can tell you I've only been here. I've only been back for 1 day, almost a full day.
Were there any other prisoners when you came into the cells?
There were, actually. There was an orc and a pixie who looked dead to me. I didn't see very closely, but it looked... Actually, Riggs, how did it look? Because I don't want to mislead them.
It looked dead to you, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Kirk kind of moves up and puts a hand on Loki's shoulder.
You were all in a daze, but that's where I met Zasira here. Zasira? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay. That's where I met Zasira here, and she was trying to free you guys. She was she was trying to unlock the gates. She told me that Talia had saved her from the fire, and so she owed her a debt. And that's why...
Awake?
Huh?
Were we awake at this point? Because none of us remember anything really solid before yesterday when we woke up here.
Where did you find Talia? Because she wasn't with us when we were locked in it.
I'm getting there. So I found you guys, and I found this orc and this pixie. At this point... No, hold on. Wait for a minute. I remembered something as we were... She told me that she owed Talia a debt, and that we were friends of Talia, so she owed us a debt as well. So she was trying to free you guys. So we searched the room, Meepa, me and her, searched the room for a key or something, but that's when I had almost kind of like a flashback to something that our tiefling friend did. Almost like a flash of light. I also felt it in my pocket. There was a key. Do I actually still have the key? Can I pull it out and show them? Okay. It was this key. And I'm gonna describe it to you if I can find the note. Okay. The key is kind of a normal, like, cell key, but it has a symbol on it, a triangle with a circle above it. Next to it, it shows another symbol of a key. And if you look close enough, there's kind of this orangish twinkling glow to it. I tried it on one of the cell doors, and it opened.
A triangle with a circle over it?
A triangle with a circle above it, yes.
I'm gonna start.
The symbol is on the key.
Yes.
Can I kind of search my person and see if I still have the piece of paper that was slipped to me?
Sure. Yeah.
Do I still have it?
He whose name shall not be spoken?
You do.
Okay. I'm just gonna hold it and look at it.
To anybody who notices, well, it'll probably be obvious. I'm going to look back at Zasira, give her a stern look, almost as if I'm trying to tell her something without saying anything. But I'm going to continue speaking. I'm going to say, I let you guys out, and Mipa found your equipment. And you guys, you guys just kind of automatically just started grabbing your equipment and putting it back on.
We were awake?
You guys were something. It was weird. Your eyes were open and you were standing, but you couldn't be reached.
That's really creepy.
Loki, you were holding onto my drum, and I tried to take it back, but you wouldn't let go of it. So I just left it with you. I trusted you, so I figured probably would have done more harm than good to take it from you.
We all were in a daze.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, like
trance?
Living zombies?
Basically. And I opened the cells, and y'all kind of stepped out, but it was strange. Zasira here had to kind of guide you out as we left.
Were any of us injured at the time?
Oh, horribly. Everywhere.
Did we,
But
like,
I didn't
react to being injured at all?
It was so dark, I could not tell that you guys were injured until we got back to the inn.
So whatever happened to us happened before you got to me.
Hey, but what about Talia? How did you find her?
I'm still getting there. Give me a minute.
When did we get back to the inn?
So, Zasira, I found this door that had the same symbol on it as the key that I was holding. So I used the key on it and opened it up, and I found this hallway. Very, very large, very tall hallway. Very long, very tall hallway with shelves stacked as tall as 20 feet, filled with bags, with sacks. Some of the bags were broken, almost fallen over, and seemed to have some type of dust. And at this point, I'm also going to pull out the little bit of gravel that I got from the bags and show it. I'm actually going to hand it to Artok.
Nice.
I know
Good
Artok
idea.
is over there, but
Yep.
You're gonna have to call him over.
Actually,
he's not over by you anymore.
no. Actually, I'm going to take it and I'm going to throw it at Artok.
Is it in a bag?
I just watched
it's
all
not in a
this
bag.
gravel just kind of scatter across the ground.
Yep.
He didn't catch it.
How am I gonna catch gravel that's thrown at me?
I don't know
Why
what it
did
is.
you
gravel.
make a mess on top
So
of
just
the
to
door?
clarify, just to
What the
clarify,
hell?
they are about the biggest pieces. There are 4 pieces, I believe.
Or so, yeah.
I think there are 4. Yeah. And the largest piece is about the size of your palm, stretched out.
So you were throwing. So you pretty
Well,
much
these are
pitched
smaller rocks.
baseballs at me. It's not gravel. What gravel do you guys drive on?
I didn't realize it was
That's a
that big.
rock.
I didn't realize it was that
Threw
big. I'm
rocks at
sorry.
me.
That was a fantastic visual, though. Thank you. Great.
I threw 4 baseball-sized rocks at you. All right.
All right. Do you actually?
Hey, Dragon Boy, catch!
No, I
There's
don't
about
like.
to be a bar fight.
I don't like
Yeah.
overhand throw it, but I do kind of like softball pitch it to you, kind of like
Four
underhand.
rocks at once at me. I'll try and catch one.
Not intending to hit you, but just like throwing it over to you, just like.
I
I'll
will
say,
try and catch one and let the other ones fall to the ground because
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to do.
As I toss it and throw it to you, I say, I don't know what it is, but it must be important enough to have sacks and sacks of it in the hallway.
So I'll take the one I was able to catch, and then kind of like turn it over in my hand.
Aw. 10-minute
Okay,
warning.
start summarizing, because there's reaction RP we need to have.
Alright, fine. So, I got through this hallway, I went to another door.
I don't want to
found
rush you. If everybody's okay, we can go a little longer. I just want to make sure everybody's
Is there anyone who objects going longer?
Yeah, I don't want Ankh to know all the information.
I love it. Yeah, we can go longer if you guys want. I don't want you to feel rushed, Azel. It's important that you get everything that you want to say out.
Yeah, I have like one little thing of RP I have to do with Toblin before we go.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
I think he needs about a week to get his story straight, just to be sure.
So, I went through this hallway. Zasira here, and I'm going to look back at her. Zasira here knew the layout because she knew these people. So she kind of knew where to go. She led me into this room.
We're just traipsing along behind you in a line the entire time.
Well, Zasira was leading you. I was behind, kind of guiding the pack.
The orc was in front.
Hey, shush.
Well, you
Weren't
Shush,
you?
Mr. Disembodied Voice.
Weren't you in the front? I thought you were in the front.
Riggs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hold on.
Does it matter?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know if you would pick up on that. That's why I was looking back at Zasira.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
So Zasira led me through this place because she knew the layout. And there was this room with this very strange. It had these tall pillars in it with a bridge that led to a middle pillar. Platforms, but they weren't connected except for this one bridge from the entranceway that we entered from. Zasira jumped down. There was a pile of rubble. Zasira jumped down and I followed into a lower level. And it was an older part of the dungeon, worn down. There was a dead body in there, but we found an exit into a cave, into a tunnel. So we followed it, and we eventually made our way out, and started Zasira. Zasira knew where the road was, so she pointed to where Phandelver was, and so we guided you all here and led you into your rooms. We bandaged you as best we could. Trix, we tried to bandage you, but every time we did, the bandages caught fire. We don't understand.
Explain that.
We don't
I
understand what was
I feel
wrong.
like you're a little hurt, but I understand now.
I like how y'all just
So-
left me covered in spider webs.
Well, we did bandage you. We bandaged the stuff that needed to be bandaged, but we
Just
probably
bandaged around the spider webs. That's fine.
Yeah, sure, why not? Anyway, we left you in your rooms, and I left Zasira to watch over you. I went down and talked to Toblin. I asked for some information about something that our tiefling friend had told me, and that's where I've been for the last night, just investigating.
But what about Talia?
Well, when I got here, there was a shadowed figure in the corner, but he left pretty quickly. He was just sitting, or I don't know who it was. They were just sitting in the corner. They left pretty quickly once they saw us come into the bar. And then we guided you all up to your room. And knowing that I didn't find Talia, knowing that the whole reason we were there was to save Talia, I completely forgot to even look for her in the dungeon. Actually, no. There was another cell. I did see it. But it was empty. So when I came back to the inn, I opened the door to her room, and she was there, laying in the bed. But her eyes were open. She was in a daze like the rest of you. So I left her alone, and then I came back downstairs and I talked to Toblin and asked for the information, and then I went out to gather information, and we're kind of all caught up.
That shadowy motherfucker followed me back to the inn and made sure I was watched over until somebody else showed up.
Fuck that guy.
While we're all sharing things, I move over and I pull my ring gingerly by the chain out of the bag.
I think we all need a drink as you talk. Sorry, Trix.
The ring is...
Are you just gonna ask anybody who might have an idea about it?
No, it's the timeline that I'm mentioning. So, I think I know how long we were out and how long Hazel was gone. While we were in the dungeon, this thing...
Alright, you only told our talking Loki.
Yes, this is me telling the party.
Also, Toblin, more over here, please.
Yeah, he passes out drinks to everybody.
I'm downing it.
I'm gonna stand up while she's having her little talk with my little piece of paper. I'm gonna grab a drink from Toblin as I walk by, and I'm gonna walk over to our talk with my little piece of paper.
It vibrated, which it's never done before. It glowed, which it's never done before. And then a creepy voice told me 4 days and laughed really maniacally. And then when I woke up here, yesterday it did the same thing, but then it said 1 day.
What piece of paper is this?
That's ominous.
The one that...
I'm gonna hand you a piece of paper, but hold on, I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, okay.
And Hazel's just gonna kind of nonchalantly say, I have more to say, but something tells me this isn't the right
I'm
time.
not gonna tell you where I got it from. I'm just gonna hand it to you.
Everybody's just handing me shit.
Almost like you're the smart
You're the
person who's
person.
supposed to figure shit out.
Artag's like,
Get the
I
rolling
don't tell
lantern.
you. I know nothing.
Jon Snow.
Okay,
Almost
Jon Snow.
Almost like you're the
Wizard.
gatekeeper of the information.
Oh no.
Oh.
I don't do... okay, look, if it had writing on it, I have already
I'll
handed
admit,
it to you.
I
at
thought
least
you
once.
just sent me a sign for a gender-neutral bathroom.
Fantastic.
I was like,
You just made my night.
Dude,
I
it
thought
really
that's what that
does.
was. I was like, what are you?
above it.
Yeah.
Now I need
Yep.
to see what this thing looks like.
I
No,
will
you haven't
tell
seen
you
it yet.
something. I will tell you something. I will tell you. He handed me this before he left. But I'm not gonna like specify who, but I mean it was Mile. But he
He's like
handed
gonna
me the
narrow my
thriller.
eyes and just like bristle up a little bit. Did he tell you what it meant?
No.
Did he say anything else when he handed it to you?
Azel's actually gonna get up.
He
but
said he
y'all
was
can talk.
sorry.
He's not sorry yet.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
Damn.
think. But
Oh, I actually
anyway,
can't. Can I not move my token?
if I had,
Yeah, you should be.
by the way, Artok, just be prepared. Anytime I get
Oh.
anything that's written in common, I'm probably just gonna hand it to you or Talia, because I can barely read common. So
Might be
Yes.
something you should ask somebody who has experience as a teacher to help you with.
I'll eventually ask you, but right now I don't like you very much. You dumped a bucket of water on my head.
Well, you smelled terrible.
And you don't wanna
I
talk
had dragon
about-
sneak
Oh,
nostrils.
hey.
And you don't
So-
want to talk about
wait,
being
hold
a
on.
teacher.
Hold on. Am I noticing this little? Are they doing that? Are y'all doing
I
this
think
in
this is
game?
mostly out of character.
No, this is
Oh.
It's mostly out of character.
this is
Damn.
just out of character.
All right, never mind.
This
So-
is with our characters in mind, being snarky to each other.
Well,
Um,
Talia's now looking up at Azel, very confused as to why you actually got up off your couch and came over here.
She's gonna come over to you and say, I don't know how you got here, but I'm sorry that we couldn't save you.
She's going to just like instinctually, as he says that, she's going to touch the bracelet that she's now wearing. And then she's going to kind of reach out and just like gently touch him on the arm and say, "You tried. You came for me. That's all that matters."
He's just gonna look down, mutter under his breath, but you could probably still hear it. It wasn't enough.
I'm gonna do the
And then
shard
I'm-
of alcohol Toblin brought me.
And then I'm gonna just walk away.
So with that sheet Lyric gave me, I'm gonna ask her if it's okay if I show other people,
Yeah, I don't care.
and then I'm gonna turn around and kind
I
of
think he
back
gave
in
it to me.
Sato and Loki and Trix over.
Oh, out of character. How
before
many
you walk
notes
off,
did you
I'm gonna
guys
tell
take
you,
of the story
I
that I
think-
just gave you all?
None.
The
I
recording's
took a
hard.
few like in brain notes, but that's about it. Artop, before you walk off, I'm going to tell you. I think he gave it to me to try to help us get out, but
And out of what?
where we
Of the
were,
dungeon? Oh,
yeah.
that's funky looking.
maybe you shouldn't have left us there.
Yeah, I know. Just telling you what I think.
Uh,
I didn't say I
So-
agreed with it or forgave him.
so I'm gonna show it too. At this point, should I just put it in story stuff?
I mean, I put it
Sure.
on the stream, so
Yeah, I'll just whoever wants to. I'll just kind of show it to everybody. Just whoever wants to come over and look at it.
So Talia, you get a
The hell?
kind of a weird calling. The rain is pouring outside, and the thunder has been building and building and building. It seems that the storm is like right over top of you, and you hear kind of a call, almost to go out in the rain. Surprisingly enough, it seems like an odd thing to just kind of get up and go outside. The last time that you did this by yourself, bad things happened. But nevertheless, you feel it, and it's an urging.
Before
so
she does that, there was one other thing I wanted to do.
well, but you can still do it just in a minute. It's my turn now.
This takes precedence.
So, Talia is gonna like jump up, and she's gonna start towards the door, and about right
Yeah.
here, she's gonna stop, just like a quick hesitation, and then step over here and grab Artok by the arm and kind of try to drag him along with her, so that she's not going out by herself.
I love it.
Azel.
Azel,
is
sorry,
coming
Azel,
with.
Azel. Sorry, Artok.
Nice.
Do
I
I
love
see
it.
this happening?
Yes.
Don't you fucking fucking dare! And I'm gonna go hop after them.
Okay, that's fine.
I love it.
I have to go outside, and I'm not going alone.
At lease she's learning.
I'm gonna
Very
run
nice.
outside.
Where are you going?
And without even
Outside.
changing the map, Talia, you kind of walk right to the middle of the street there, and everybody kind of follows you.
Except
It
apparently
gives you a
our
little bit of
people.
distance, and Talia, you feel this kind of friendly nudge to extend your arm to the sky. Amidst all the rain and the thunder, and how dangerous this might be, do you comply?
Oh yeah, I absolutely comply.
From the sky, in a giant clap of thunder, a giant black mass falls from the sky in Talia's direction. As it falls closer and closer, you can see that it's some kind of a bird, and it swoops down and just touches very, very calmly and in such a relaxed fashion onto her arm as you all gaze, and you see she has a falcon on her arm.
Isn't weird at all. Totally
The
normal.
falcon kind of looks in your eyes, Talia, and you can see kind of a white sheen kind of zip past the eyes as it kind of blinks at you and then looks around.
I'm gonna use shape water to make a hole in the rain above my head, like I did that last time, so that my falcon does not get wet anymore.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And I'm going to very gently walk back inside with the falcon on my arm.
Nice.
I'm just petting
and you
him
do.
as I walk back in.
What the hell?
Yeah, and it takes it. It treats you as if you are family.
That was totally normal.
And you all walk
Completely-
inside.
Completely typical way to wind up with a new pet, apparently.
Everybody is incredibly confused.
Well, out of game, it's a gift from her father, but in game, we don't know that.
I'm coming over to Toblin. This is not what I was going to roleplay with Toblin. I still want to do that. Don't forget.
yeah,
But
please do.
I'm going to ask him if he has any strips of raw meat, not cured, not cooked, anything like that.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Coming right up, and he runs to the back, and he pulls.
Anyone else slightly unnerved by the fact that Tomlin always is able to
He
get
always
exactly
has
what
it,
we need?
guys. He's your go-to guy, right?
It's a little creepy.
Tomlin.
He's your go-to. Yeah, he comes back out.
Man.
There's
Hey,
some
Toblin.
strips of rabbit meat. He
Hey,
kind of hands
Toblin,
to
do you
you.
have
Yes.
the necroanimiphasic complexion behind there?
You know what? It just so happens. Take this key.
I like just that. Go for the
So Talia's gonna take the rabbit meat and feed a strip to her falcon, and she just seems, her energy is totally different now. She seems very, very cheered up and happy.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Talia knows exactly what this falcon is and where it's from. So
Yeah.
I know
and the
my own
falcon takes
mythology.
it,
That's
and-
why.
That's true. It's seem content, and it's very careful about not digging into your arm too much. It seems like it's conscious of that.
I'm gonna let it climb up to my shoulder. On my
Well,
shoulder.
Yeah,
he's constantly well trimmed, so it wouldn't hurt that much anyway. He's magically well trimmed.
I love it. At this point, I kind of have it slated to kind of cut it.
There was
if everybody
one
is
thing I
okay.
wanted to do real quick before we do.
All right.
And me as well.
I know there's a lot tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry it kind of turned into a story test.
No, it was okay.
Well,
Story
now
time.
that is over, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. From a dream I had, I think while we were before we left for the dungeon, before we discovered Talia was kidnapped. I had a dream, and speaking of keys, it reminded me, I have this.
I have a key too, and I'm going to search my
Yeah.
pockets. I'm going to search, like, literally, I'm like,
A different
wait,
key from the one
yeah.
you used to help us?
yeah, I have
And
a
he
key
was the
too.
other key bearer.
I'm like gonna absent-mindedly like search my pockets and my pouch, and it's gonna be like, and then I stop, and then I think about it, and I'm gonna be, oh,
Did you leave your
right.
key in the past?
Never mind. Continue.
Riggs, did he leave his key in the past?
I'm not saying anything unless somebody is going to pry.
That's funny.
Good times were had.
He left his key in the past. What an
Oh,
idiot.
beautiful.
Ree knows because I told her.
I would like to
Beautiful.
remind Ree, I think you had a vision of me with this key.
I did, but
She
I'm
did.
not paying any attention to you right now. I'll notice the key later.
She's so focused right now.
Part of me really hopes you guys end up prying about why I don't have any of my stuff with me.
Oh, that's
yeah,
coming,
you
don't
you
worry.
guys really should. You should really pry at it.
Oh,
about
yes,
this.
we really should.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually sitting over here now, with my bird, by the way. So,
Bye.
Where's your stuff, Hazel? Yeah, where's your stuff, Hazel?
where are your clothes, Hazel? Where are your clothes?
What's this shiny armor you're wearing, Hazel?
Well, I already told you how I
I
got
know.
the armor.
Yeah.
Are you
and
wearing someone else's underclothes?
So,
Packaging.
I do want to pull Toblin aside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So remember that for next session, guys. I'm missing all of my shit except for the stuff that I have on me.
You're missing all of your shit except for the stuff that you're not.
Well, except for the sword and the armor that you guys can see.
So I'm
That's
gonna
literally
kind
all I
of
have.
try to like be very discreet about this. I don't want anyone in the party to notice. But
Oh,
I'm
we
gonna
lost-
reach up and touch him, Toblin, on the shoulder where I saw the brand, where he showed me the brand.
Yes.
Passive
I'm
perception
going
is
to
17.
Hold on a
say,
second. Hold on a sec.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh.
We lost the Sato.
Oh.
Oh. Sato, you there?
Sorry, I didn't want
said
to.
BRB.
Right back.
I didn't want
Oh.
to. But
Well, if he said BRB, then I would assume he's okay with you to keep going.
yeah,
It might be best to. Okay.
this is really just between me and Toblin anyway, so
All right.
y'all aren't gonna notice.
I have
Um,
a passive perception of 17.
You're on the
And
other
you're on the
freaking
other side of the
room.
bar. So
Okay, fair.
shush.
She's just going to, in ancient Egyptian, she's going to say a prayer over him to two deities. She's going to call on the goddess Bast, who is the Egyptian goddess of protection, among other things. And she's going to weave that prayer in and also call on the god Thoth, who is the Egyptian god of the mind, and basically do a prayer of like protection for his mind, protection against mind control, protection against any sort of mental manipulation that might happen.
Mm,
And
that's
she's going to
amazing.
try to bestow that prayer of asking these gods to give him this blessing.
I love it, actually. Talia, roll a what's your
Religion check?
what is your
Casting?
yeah, it's
My
I'm
spellcasting
sorry, I'm
ability
drawing
is wisdom.
a blank right. Yeah, wisdom, that's what I thought. Roll a wisdom check for me, just a regular one.
God, please roll high.
seriously, a religion check?
A 7.
Well, she cost a prayer, so it would
You-
be interesting.
No, it was just really, really clever. You see him kind of, for a sec. He, when you start to offer this to him, at first he's kind of hesitant, and then he smiles and he's like, "Okay, I trust these people," you know. And then he kind of gets
Aw.
down a little bit and kind of accepts it. And as he does, as you finish, Talia, you see him kind of wince a little bit, and kind of his shoulder kind of turns, almost like in pain for a second, and then he kind of, you see he puts his hand up to it, kind of rubs it a bit, and kind of gives you a half broken smile, and says, "There's no harm in trying."
Aww.
Continues walking towards the bar.
I'm gonna say that prayer every day until it works. I don't have to touch him to say that prayer.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, And with that being said, guys, I think this will conclude our session for this evening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry there was no fighting again. I know everybody is kind of itching to get into a fight here because I know that we're all at level
Really?
4, and we will though. I promise.
There's RP shit we have to sort of. I want my goddamn
Yeah, a lot of
before I
RP.
get into a fight first.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's coming. It's coming. We're gonna get to all that stuff. So good
That's
job
nice.
tonight, guys. I had fun tonight. It was good.
Reeks, I
I
can't.
need to go to the store.
I can't believe you almost gave away something. Sorry,
I know.
I should have telegraphed it better.
It's
to let
okay.
You know.
Look at
but-
that 22 after.
I was just
I had-
curious.
Wow.
All right, say bye, stream.
Bye,
Bye.
stream. Thank you for joining us again. Have a good week.